Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Pernell Bobby here. I am going to grab my microphone. All right, here we go. Grab the mic, get the clear quality on here for you guys. So, today we're talking masculinity. We're talking positive masculinity. We're going to identify some of the traits. I felt like this is really important because I think that we've definitely come to a point where there has been too many men falling, and I count myself as well in this, which is where this has come up, victim into an overexertion of feminine energy. Okay. So, like, feminine energy has its place in the woman's life and the man's life. I think both have to find their ways to moderate both. But when we look at our men today, what I look at what's happening, there's a disbalance. Okay. There's a disbalance energetically. And there's a callback to ourselves. And what that callback looks like in the space of positive masculinity is what we're going to discuss today. So in order to do that, I got to talk some about toxic masculinity, because I find that if we don't recognize the opposite and intuitive counterpart, we're not going to know when we're crossing that line. Okay. I think it's critical that we don't just believe that being positive is going to solve everything. It's like, that's not true. And being negative to such an extent that we bury ourselves in the critical self-talk is also nowhere near close to positive masculinity. And honestly, negative self-talk is one of the determinants of narcissism, okay, of narcissistic behavior, narcissistic personality disorders. N- Negative critical self-talk gets us into these places of toxic masculinity. And it also is an avoidance and direct sabotage from positively expressing masculine energy. And so let's take some of the verbiage away for a second and just like try to break it into simplicity, right? What is, and thanks whoever's joining, I appreciate you for being here. What is masculine energy, and how does it differ from feminine energy? Understanding that this is my interpretation. Before I move forward, I'm going to do a couple housekeeping things. Okay. We're going to give you today 5 signs, things that you need to stop. Okay. Especially if you're a man, or that you need to, if you're a woman watching this and you're dating a man and you recognize these signs, call him out. Call him out and tell him, like, be the man. And I needed to hear that once. There was once upon a time I had to have my woman tell me, like, be a man. And I was like, I swear to God, it was like, I just like, everything just snapped. And honest to God, from the day that my ex-woman has said that, nothing has almost ever been the same. It was like call to action. Holy shit, she's right. And I remember being able to say nothing except for, got it. I don't even think I said that. And there was no explanation needed. All I needed at that moment was to take a walk and to sit in that truth, that there is a point where I was becoming a victim to my own feminine energy, which also meant denying the strong masculine energies within me as well. So let's clarify that. But in order to do that, definitely check out my email list. There's a free book that I'm giving away for people there. It's about a 72-page book, helping you to kind of get your values and your alignments in check, helping you use astrology. I'm here to help you to improve your response to suffering, all while leveraging astrology, even within this topic of, and especially within the topic of feminine and masculine energy and how narcissism shows up in somebody's astrological chart. There are placements where you can sit there and look at, like, hey, look, here's the relationship with your mother, or here was the relationship with your father, and look at these aspects through astrology to see, like, Okay, this person may likely have tendencies to be dominant. Okay, and dominance can be a good thing, but it can also be over the line, right? Um, Potentially understanding when you do synastry charts in astrology, like when you might find a partner that's more submissive. Maybe that's what you like, or maybe you need somebody that's not submissive at all. Um, Part of positive masculinity is being able to understand what you want, right? This is one of the biggest reasons why men fall into toxic self-sabotaging traits is they don't know what they want. When a man does not know what he wants, he is now a female. This is just simple math, okay? This one's not anything scientific because how many times you ask a woman to go to dinner and like, where do you want to go or what does she want? And it's like, that's her job, okay? It's her job to be flexible and not know what the fuck she wants. Um, that's what allows her as the woman to expand the energy that you put into her as a man with clear focus. So if you can be clear and detached from your emotional responses, not telling you not to have them, because we're talking today about emotional intelligence and how that plays a critical role. An emotionally intelligent man is a bare minimum requirement for positive masculine energy. Okay. So we need to get rid of whatever false narratives exist out there around um, emotions are for pussies. That's just stupid. I don't even know who started something like that. That's just fucking retarded. Now, and I don't mean any disrespect when I say fucking retarded. I'm not excusing myself for the fucking part, but I am potentially for the retarded part. So with that said, like, you know, what I'm trying to say is we about to get in this. We about to fucking vibe out today. This is what we're about to do. And here's why it's really positive because there's a lot of Sagittarius energy in the sky, right? I know I got my astrology people out there. There's a lot of Sagittarius energy in the sky, and it's like Sagittarius is a very strong masculine energy. It's a very I don't give a fuck type energy. It's a very much like I'm going to expand the vision. Now, when it expands the vision, potentially your family is a part of that vision, right? I know for myself, like I want to create my own family one day. And so as a part of that, like being very clear and concise, stepping into positive masculinity and and away from the distractions that create more negative self-talk, okay, which is what starts to form narcissism, okay, which is why we then begin to attract partners, whether male or female, who have more narcissistic traits so that we can see how stuff like negative self-talk and self-sabotaging behaviors play its role. All right. But woo, let's get in it, baby. Okay, so I have some real points that I'm going to actually, I already typed them out. I'm going to give them out to you today. Definitely hit this like and subscribe. Share this with somebody you know who's in the space of suffering. Uh, this is a major element to do with relationship dynamics. It's one of the reasons why I'm talking about this because until we can identify what positive masculine traits are, what negative feminine traits are, I think that we're going to continue to suffer in relationships. And this is a very big passion of mine for people to find more balance, more harmony in relationships. I know for me, myself, like I'm not trying to be in some fucking chaotic relationship. I don't want to be in dramatic relationships. Like, does it have its place? Absolutely. Do I enjoy a little bit of that? Absolutely. But if it begins to stop my work and my mission and my purpose and it's not propelling me forward, then it's a fucking problem. Okay. Like I would tell anybody up front, like the passion is it's up there. The ambition, it's up there. Like I'm driven by more than just myself. I don't have time to slack off. And this is when somebody really is in their positive masculine trait. It's like anybody that holds you back. Let's say if there's men listening to this right now, or women, because you need to hear this too. Like stop holding your men back or the men in your life back. If you're a woman and listen to this, I'm telling you that straight up. Stop holding the men in your life back. There are plenty of other distractions out there where we don't need anything extra and external, right? Because our internal distractions are more than grand enough. And one of those can be something simple as negative self-talk. None of those could be something like complaining, okay? If you're a man out there and you are finding yourself complaining, you got to stop that shit. Period. I think we really need to get real serious and we need to stop enabling oversensitivity within men because this is what's happened and we've begun to breed insecurity. And I honestly believe that we've been breeding insecurity for a long time now. Okay. Like men are not walking around on this earth confident that they know where they're going, they understand how to get there. And there are so many distractions, whether through synthetic and inorganic forms of pornography, let's say, okay, now not even being able to approach a woman. This is a fucking problem. Like, if you are a man listening to this and you can't approach a woman, but you can approach, your left hand, a bottle with some lotion, and an inorganic woman on the internet at free will, which is even more dangerous. This is the danger behind it. Okay, this is why things like NoFap exist. It's it's not even necessarily the porn itself. It's the instant gratification that you can have a woman whenever you want. Well, if that is true, then you go outside and you go grab yourself a woman at will. If you can't do that with the same ease that you're doing it on the internet, then you need to really reevaluate how toxic you're being and how negative of an influence you are to the people that you are here to help protect. Okay, masculine energy is a protection energy, right? It's a security energy. So it's like, if whoa, I'm about to go in today. Listen, drop any questions in the comments. I've been feeling passionate about this all day. I haven't even talked to nobody today because I'm like, I don't have time. Like, I just was so driven to go out here and give this message today. So we're going to talk today about, like, what is positive masculinity? How does emotional intelligence really play its part as a sign and making sure that you're dealing with a real man, or making sure that if you're listening to this as a man, that you are in alignment with what a real man, in my personal opinion, should be like. I'm not going to sit there and tell you that what I say goes above all, but what I am saying today does need to be heard. Because toxic masculinity has become the result of men, in my personal opinion, lacking emotional intelligence. So I'm going to really like bridge this gap today. And that's when, men become they become nice, right? They're different between kind and being nice. It's like they become nice, and nice is a form of manipulation, right? This is how narcissists manipulate others. And if you're finding yourself attracting narcissistic personality disorders, it's time to check back inwards and realize that, okay, there's been different men or there's been different women, but the narcissism keeps remaining. So why is there a common denominator? And what is that common denominator about? What is that saying? You feel me? And we got to start asking some of these questions. So now I'm going to move into the next couple pieces, but I'm going to drop this link. We're doing a spiritual business mastermind. Okay, it's going to be a brainstorm session. It's a donation-based event. Coming up on the full moon of Gemini, there's a lot of ideas that we have in our mind about what we want to do, how we want to do it. I know everybody's kind of feeling like they're on a freeze frame a little bit, like, I don't really know where to go, what to do. And this is where positive masculine energy plays its part, because positive masculine energy can take time away for itself and fucking get clear and realize, like, look, positive masculine energy is structural, right? We're thinking Capricorn in the zodiac. So we're talking Capricorn in the zodiac. We're talking structural. We're talking disciplined. All right. Even though Capricorn is a feminine sign, it carries very strong masculine energies, which is why it goes to show as well that, like, even in astrology, the way we have interpreted these astrological constellations is not entirely, we don't have the capacity, in my personal opinion, to actually fathom it for all its worth. We can only make our interpretations because, right, if you think of a Capricorn being a feminine sign, just for starters, which will make Saturn a feminine energy as well, right? Like, if it's the owner, it's like, that's not necessarily masculine. We know masculine as something clear, defined, concise, driven, ambitious, all things Capricorn, but why would it be feminine and masculine? So that's just something to talk about. I see you. It's a vibe. Thanks for checking in. I appreciate this convo as well. I appreciate you for joining the convo. Ask anything, shoot anything out. And everybody listening now, hit that subscribe. We're going to talk a little bit about semen retention today, a little bit about NoFap. I talked a little bit about this with the peace dealer recently. For anybody that's coming on with this, we had this just a couple of days ago. I was talking with him, and we're talking about not dumping your seeds anywhere, okay? Especially if you already don't have direction. If you don't, that's a form of toxic masculinity. If you don't have direction and you're just out here dumping your seeds and to nothing, you're gonna get nothing. You feel me? It's the same thing where, like, if you're aiming at nothing, guess what? You're gonna hit nothing. I don't think everybody heard that yet. I'm gonna need you to repeat that on the other side, even if it's to yourself, or matter of fact, while you're listening, whether you're on a replay or not. Claim this: if I aim at nothing, I hit nothing. I'm gonna type it as well. If I aim at nothing, I will hit nothing! Exclamation point. And I believe that, because when I was younger, I had this older white woman, like, she told me, like, not that her race matters at all, but she told me that A goal without a plan is just a wish. And I had turned into a mindset for a while. I turned into like a mantra of mine. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Mindset, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Mindset. And I had my, like, at that time, my sister might have been like, I don't know, like 9. And when she was like 9, maybe younger, I was telling, used to do it as a mantra. A goal without a plan is just a wish. So right now we're in Sagittarius season. We have all this fiery energy, but remember, fire is mutable. So it's all over the place. So it's this visionary masculine energy where if it has a target, it will hit every fucking time. Okay. Believe it. And this is collectively, this is where the sun is right now. So it's like, if you have a target, I promise you, you're gonna hit. You're gonna hit. Now, the problem with the Sagittarius energy is it's mutable. If you don't have a target, you're gonna start a little fire over here, you're gonna start a little fire over here, and you're gonna start a little fire over here. So that masculine energy can very quickly turn into feminine chaotic energy, which is all over the way. Okay. So like, like give my brief understanding of feminine versus masculine so we can get clear and again clear and show live examples. All right. I'm looking here today to be a live example of positive and masculine energy. For starters, positive masculine energy can say something like that without fear. I don't need your validation. You feel me? Like, I don't need you to tell me, like, who is he to think that he can say that he's an example, a live, living, organic example of positive and masculine energy. Well, for starters, the ability to say something with confidence, to mean it. And then when somebody comes against you, and they want to sit there and discredit your opinion, let's just say, there's no reason to explain. And there's no reason to fight back. Please say what you want. And then on my behalf, there's no reason to, again, argue. Because when you know what you know, you know what you know. That does not say that there's not room for growth. Does not mean that there's not room to expand on my personal beliefs. And I will. But I don't need to argue back to prove that I will. So I already gave away one of the signs. So we're just gonna break masculine. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. I'm just like, woo. And again, ask me anything when the time comes. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my donation-based event. We're gonna be doing spiritual business mastermind, brainstorming, talking about travel, talking about relationship dynamics and the impact that it has on us in these relationships. I can tell you right now, there's so many people, and I've been victim of this in my own ways for long, are so many toxic relationships. So many people that are hearing this are they're not just in a toxic relationship now. The relationship prior was toxic. The relationship prior was toxic. The relationship prior was toxic. And it's like, why? Well, the why is like, we're out of balance. We're out of order. And this is where I've been called to come talk to everybody today. It's like, we are out of order. Okay. Men are stepping out of line. Okay. They're crossing their own boundaries. Women aren't respecting boundaries that are set, and they're seeing how far they can push them just because. This concept of cheating and monogamy and polyamory is just getting fucking buck wild, and no one knows what the fuck is what anymore. Everybody's just starting to claim what they are, and they've never even explored it. They've never researched it. They're just hearing it from somebody that they like, and they're adopting it. We got to get real serious about being honest, okay, emotionally, which is where emotional intelligence plays its part in positive masculinity, about where we want to go and what we want to accept and what we refuse to accept. We need to get real clear about what our frame looks like so that nobody can sit there and cross our boundaries, but more importantly, so that we stop crossing our own boundaries. And again, I say this as somebody being the one has crossed my own boundary. Never again. Never again. I've crossed my boundaries for years. For years. Boundaries that I didn't even know I had set. Boundaries that I didn't know I needed to set. For years. Never again. Thank you all for those likes. I see you guys. I appreciate you hitting that like button. Help out the channel. So that said, when I think masculine energy, simplicity, it's clear, it's concise, it's ambitious, it's orientated. Okay. If you had a map, I got a map behind me, and it's like, it's orientated. All right. It's like next year for my birthday in April, I'm going to Lisbon, Portugal. I set that. That's my goal. Working backwards from near, what is everything that needs to get done for me to be in Lisbon, Portugal? Okay. My research has begun. Do I need a vaccine? No. Great. Do I need a passport? Got it already. Done. Checked. And it's checkbox. Okay. Clear positive masculine energy it has the ability to hit checkbox. I love hitting goals. Masculine energy loves to knock out goals. Okay. On the opposite end, feminine energy doesn't necessarily care about knocking out goals. It cares about feeling along the way and experiencing the journey. Which on the flip side, okay, masculine energy also needs to understand the line of still enjoying the process, because the process needs to be enjoyed, even with the goals being set. But that's where, again, we set the goal, and the feminine energy helps us to remind us to come back and snap out of that phase, snap out of that program of gotta get here, protect the family, provide the money, blah, 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 blah. This is why you always hear that women can't live without men and men can't live without women. It's not necessarily speaking in the literal sense of I physically cannot live without the embodiment of a woman in my space. It's speaking about within myself, I cannot live without masculine energy and feminine energy working in union, in harmony. Okay. Even when the feminine energy wants to get chaotic and less harmonious. And then in response, when you're out of order, when you're out of energetic balance and alignment, the masculine energy wants to start to be nice in a form of manipulation to avoid conflict. That's bitch made shit. Okay. I really mean it. Like this is gone too far. Like it's like you can probably hear it in my voice and see it in my demeanor. I'm fed up. And I feel like everybody on the other side of this should be fed up too. Because our world is suffering. And we're worried about petty shit every day. The stupidest things on the planet. Giving our energy to people that don't deserve it. Crossing our own boundaries, creating acts of self-hate and sabotaging any lick of progress, any step towards the light. We're out of balance. This is a call to action to get your shit together. So on the opposite side, what's beautiful about feminine energy is very creative. Okay, thank you guys for joining in again. The fact that, and don't be afraid to ask anything. I'm in a raw state. Okay, so I've been direct pretty much all day. I haven't even been able to have many conversations. I just been on it. So don't let this demeanor scare you off. Like I'm still friendly, but I'm focused. Feminine energy is chaotic in nature, okay? But that chaos isn't good or bad. It just is. Chaos is chaos, okay? Chaos with order is magic. Did you hear what I just said? If you heard me, I want you to type in the comments right now. If you agree with it, I want to take some time to sit on it. Chaos plus order is magic, okay? And magic is, in modern times, considered a manifestation, okay? When I think a thought and it comes true, oh my God, I manifested it. It's magic. If we can get order and chaos being the creative energy necessary and required to experience possibilities beyond logical and rational thinking, okay, which is masculine energy, logical, rational, and methodical thinking, that's masculine energy, all right? And feminine energy is in the space of healing, nurturing, chaotic energy, which is not good or bad, but it needs a container. So feminine energy is the container. No, I take that back. Masculine energy is the container. Feminine energy is the fuel, and it's combustible as fuck. Feminine energy is combustible. It can just explode, which is great, as long as it has a container. So when you have chaos and you have order, you get magic. I love magic. I love magic. Sex magic, money magic. There's so many forms. There's so many forms of magic. There's so many forms to yo, let's get in it. Listen, listen. This is why you may have heard this. I think it's even in the Bible. If you give a woman anything, she will amplify it. Okay? That's that combustible chaos. It's like you give her anything, she will amplify it. If you give her dishonesty, she will be a snake in your own garden. Did you hear what I said? If you give a woman dishonesty, she will become the biggest and most indescribable and discreet snake in your garden. And her venom is going to be more dangerous than the original venom you gave back to her. Okay? Go to the moon, kids. Let's do this. Now, on the opposite end, if you give her one sperm cell, she will give you a human being. Can we say that that was something that was amplified? He gave her one sperm. She made it a whole living organic thing. Wow. 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 Okay. You put money, masculine energy, right? Get the clear focus. You put money into the home. You say, babe, take this money and decorate our home. What is she going to give you? A fucking masterpiece. Something that you couldn't even describe. Something that you couldn't even imagine. That's where the feminine energy plays its part. It is combustible in the space of manifesting your thoughts and desires and accomplishments, your resources. Okay? That's the beauty. Listen, thank you guys for these thumbs ups. Let's see what we got on the votes. We're going to get into the real reasons coming in the bottom. Tired of soft men. Tell me, what about soft men makes you tired? What are you sick of? Like, let's talk about this. What are you sick of? What are you sick of in soft men? And what do you think is the opposite? Like, what do you think that we need? Like, help everybody out in the collective. I see somebody in here is emotionally intelligent. Bang. Appreciate it. But definitely answer that question in the comments. Let a brother know something. And I'm going to move now into, is that clear, by the way, of what I look at, my personal opinion of masculine energy, positive versus feminine energy? Because if not, I will do better to explain. Now, this idea of stoicism, when I first came across it, I was like, okay, it exists. But I wasn't really like, yeah, I want to adopt stoicism, right? When I look at it today, I think it's one of the things that we need most. Okay. Not because I believe that it's the only possible way to operate, being a stoic. I don't believe that. But what I do believe is that we've become too soft. I believe masculine energy has gone over the line. It has become way too over emotional. I have been on the side of this line of allowing my emotions to dictate my actions, and I had to realize that is not okay. I was out of order. Okay. It was an important phase for me because it reminded me how important emotional intelligence is and how much it plays a role. Fuck this mosquito. How much it plays a role. Masculine energy. Fuck this mosquito. No, I'm just kidding. But that's part of the masculine energy. It's like, you know, when your woman is like, babe the buck, you gotta go to work. All right. But I'm not gonna kill that thing. I'm just gonna put it back outside. You know, whole spiritual path and all, right? Stoicism. All right. So one of the things that there are like 4 things that I like about stoicism, and I type one of them here. One of them is not arguing. So in my last relationship, like I caught myself at a point like starting to fucking argue. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this doesn't even feel right. I don't even like this. Why are we arguing again? And I had to start taking ownership on what was my role and how was I playing into the drama. I was feeding the drama. Like I had to accept that this had nothing to, feminine energy is dramatic. It's supposed to be. She's not to blame. She's not to blame for being dramatic. She's supposed to be dramatic. I was not supposed to be so dramatic. I was not supposed to feed the drama. I was not supposed to sit there and argue back because what that was revealing to me was that I wasn't clear. I wasn't clear. Positive masculine energy is clear. And when you're clear, you know what you don't do. You don't argue. I had to realize that arguing is a form of uncertainty, mishandled. Okay? Because uncertainty exists. Uncertainty exists in the world. Uncertainty is beautiful. Uncertainty is the reason that magic is infinite and all of the impossibles are possible, right? Uncertainty has a place and it is critical, as well as certainty. Being certain and being uncertain, they both fucking matter, okay? However, when you are arguing because you are uncertain, that ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. Look, if I set a goal, I set my goal, okay? In positive masculine energy, I set my goal. Okay, great. I'm clearly and concisely going here. Uncertainty is the steps that it might be to get there. I know where I need to go. I'm right here. I need to go up these steps to get here. Uncertainty is a little bit of the stuff in the middle. Okay? There's a couple steps where, like, look, I have to push forward. I have to take action. I have to push forward. Okay? Okay, listen, you're listening to me. This is the masculine energy. The masculine energy is designed to push forward, to tread the untreaded tracks, which means what? It was never voyaged, which means what? There is uncertainty everywhere in the middle. And that's why it's your job and your positive masculinity to be the protector, okay? To take out the threats. Because the feminine energy is too fragile, with no disrespect. It's not fragile because it cannot defend itself. It is not wired, built, and maintained or expanded by having to defend itself. When you give that combustible, chaotic energy that's also healing and nurturing, a protector who takes their initial threats, you keep your woman in a safe space. And if your woman feels safe emotionally, physically, mentally, well, anything you give her, she will amplify. Did you hear me? We talked about that. We've talked about that earlier. Anything you give a woman, she will amplify. You give her your seed, she makes a baby. You give her a couple of dollars, she makes something more of it. Anything you invest in her, good or bad, because we talked about the opposite end. You give her dishonesty, she'll be a snake in your garden. Okay? Okay, you hear me? Thank you guys for these likes. I appreciate you. You give her dishonesty, she will be a snake in your garden. Okay? So what am I saying? Uncertainty is a part of what positive masculine energy is built for. Is built to be uncertain. You think that we know the answer all the time? When a woman asks you she asks you a question, okay? You're dating somebody and a woman asks you a question. And the guy gives back either one or two things. He's like, I don't know. Or in his mind, he thinks, I really don't fucking know, but we're going to get there. That's a great sign of a positive masculine trait. Does he feel scared? If you're a man, are you instilling fear just by your response alone? Okay, your woman is freaking out like, babe, how are we going to pay the bills? Yada, yada, yada. He knows right now, like, fuck, we ain't got the money. But is he sitting there freaking out with you like, oh my God, like, yeah, we're going to fucking crash. We're going down, baby. Call your parents, maybe. If he's doing that, then he's definitely unclear, unable to be concise, going to crash the ship, which is y'all ship. It's your ship together. He's going to crash for both of you. He's at fault in that scenario. When a woman comes up with money problems, you don't sit there and come back with like, yeah, shit, I did get laid off today. It's like, no, you fucking go figure it out. You make a plan. And in the meanwhile, because again, a woman, whatever you give her, she will amplify. You give her fear, and she was already afraid. That is combustible energy. Combustible, chaotic energy. That's guaranteed going to be an argument. You feel me? That's guaranteed going to be a fucking shit show. You gave her fear when she was already afraid? Men, you got to chill the fuck out on these insecurities. I talk to myself. Like in my last relationship, when I tell you, like, my woman had told me one time, there was one day that shit stabbed me in my fucking heart. She was like, be the man. And I was like, from there, it was just straight face. I never said another word. There's no reason to argue. There's no reason to fight back. There's no reason to say anything except for I'm going to take a walk. I said exactly that. I was like, I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to take a walk. I took my walk and I was like, Pernell, you need to be the man. Right now, whatever the fuck that was bitch made. You got to chill the fuck out and realize that this is a very powerful feminine energy that is combustible. So if I can guide that energy, if I can put bumpers on the side of that energy, you feeling me? You hearing me right now? Then we're gonna fucking win. We win. We win. No matter what, we win. But I gotta get my shit together. I'm getting hot. Let me see what we got coming on here, and I'm gonna get back to the comment. I got hi Bobby. Hi Bobby, grateful for your presence. I saw you in the peace deal. I feel like you're in the same path into the future I am. You are life changing. I appreciate you, homie. I appreciate you. I just got real warm out of nowhere. So I appreciate you. We gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta do what we gotta do. So here we go. We're gonna get into the next point. And anybody that have any questions, thank you guys for these likes, these subscribes. Hit my email list. Really appreciate it. I'm giving a free book out. It's like 72 pages or so. It's volume 1 of a 3-part series. I just dropped it in a link there. And if it's not that, we're doing a brainstorming coming up. All right. There's going to be a mastermind for spiritual business. Right now, we're in sad season. Travel is on the mind. Travel is possible. Okay. Not only that, but right now, with the closing of this cycle, with this last solar eclipse in Sagittarius, and we're going to the full moon in Gemini, what is happening right now is we have all of these ideas back from June. There were so many ideas on our mind in June. Remember that solar eclipse? I think it was a solar eclipse in Gemini in June. Shit got buck wild. So many ideas are like, ah. And right now, what's happening is this full moon coming on the 18th is a culmination, and we're going to gain clarity. So right now, you're going to have a couple hazy days in the middle. I'm going to let you know now. You're going to make a couple mistakes, and that's cool. They're not really mistakes. It's just it's requiring us to take a little bit of an adventure to kind of switch up our schedule, and things are going to really be lovely. So that's a donation-based workshop. I love it because of the community. You guys missed the last vision board. That shit was lit. That was this past weekend. That was so awesome. The feedback, everything was so amazing. So let me get to the next point. Join that workshop. Subscribe to my channel. Appreciate you all. Check out this email list. It's my first email list. I haven't even sent my first email out yet, but I love to write. My Gemini and Venus is like, look, we're gonna get you something that's going to get you so wet, but also answer so many questions, right? Gemini energy is a problem solver. Okay. So we solve problems. All right, here we go. I'm interested in connecting psychology and spirituality in a new way, and I would love to collaborate with you. Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk something. You can email me, and yeah, you can email me. And if you don't, you forget, or if I forget to give it to you or something, drop a comment in the actual comment of the video so that I don't lose you. And let's get to the second point for all right, boom. This is another one. This is another part of stoicism. All right, I'm gonna type this here. Stop complaining, okay? like this is kind of like the simplicity of like that bitch assness. Jay-Z had remember Jay-Z came out with a quote and like t-shirts, I think, like back in like I don't know 2009, and he had said he is like no bitch assness, like also the same as like snitching, if you will, and it's like stop complaining. Like if you're in a relationship and let's say your woman is complaining and it's like you complaining as well, it does not fucking help. I don't even really want to elaborate on that one too much because it's like, I think that quite frankly, and somebody might be mad at me, but that's cool. I think complaining is for losers. Like, I think complaining is for losers. Like, again, there are different parts of the society and the culture is going to say, oh my God, you can't say loser. And it's like, this is that soft shit that I'm talking about. It's like, look, if your man is complaining, especially if he's complaining more than you, that's a problem. That's a problem. Anybody that doesn't think that's a problem, please let me know in the chat. Like, is there really much more that we need to elaborate on about complaining? Like, all right, we're gonna skip that one. But we made the announcement. Complaining is just bitch assness. Okay, we gotta chill out on that. Because the thing about complaining means that you're not willing to do something different. Complaining means that you're willing to sit there and be a victim and stay in that mentality. That's complaining. You feel me? Complaining is basically saying that you're not willing to make a plan, you're not willing to change your circumstance, you're willing to, even if you can't change your circumstance, okay? Because complaining a lot of times comes when you can't change your circumstance, right? Okay, great. There are plenty of circumstances in the world where we can't change. That's why, like, on this personal channel, like, I'm looking to help you improve your response to suffering, leveraging astrology. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that. On this channel, I'm looking to help you improve, not master. Okay, that Sagittarius and South Node is like all of us stepping away from, I want to be the master of blah 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 blah. Right? Complaining ain't gonna do shit. Pretending that you're the master of anything is outdated. Okay, taking in the feedback of others is a sign of true leadership. Right? When you're able to ask your troops, when you're able to ask your tribe, hey, what do you guys think? Not from a place where you need validation, because you should be validating yourself, but from a place of just having an open heart, realizing that you're not the best. Even if you're most qualified to lead, one of the best character traits of a leader is the fact that can they listen to the needs of the people they're trying to protect. Remember, if you're a leader, which positive masculinity is, a leader, if you're a leader, you need to know what are the needs of the people you are leading. Do you know the needs of your woman? And if you're a female leader, do you know the needs of the people you're leading? Even if you're a female leading another pack of females, do you understand the needs? Good leadership knows the needs. Because remember, women have masculine energy, men have feminine energy. Like, let's never forget that. Let's never forget that. Masculine and feminine does need each other within yourself. Not the physical embodiment of a female and the false assumption that that is the representation of feminine energy. Let's not get it fucked up. Feminine and masculine energy is within me. I need those two motherfuckers to be the order and the chaos that creates magic in my life. I don't need somebody on the other side of the camera or the girl I meet at the restaurant to be the other half, to be my soulmate, to be my twin flame in the next personification. You don't need that next person. You need your feminine energy and your masculine energy to get along. When your feminine energy and your masculine energy within you, the chaos and the order, gets along, you are now the embodiment of a magician, like we all are. Each one of us has the ability to manifest anything from a thought alone. But I just lied to you. Because this is where I think this softness comes in heavy, okay? Because positive masculine energy is not just a thought alone. It's not just the plan, okay? It's not just the plan. Maybe that's why Capricorn is considered partial feminine energy. It has that two parts, right? Capricorn is still a cardinal energy. Because this is the point I'm trying to make now. It's like it doesn't require just a plan or just a thought. It requires action. Oh, I'm gonna bring it back to that action. Action. You know me. Who remember that song? What is that? Murder She Wrote or something like that? I think it's just action. Don't complain. Do something. Gil, look at that. I just saw your comment. And that's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. Complaining is the fact that you have not done anything different. You probably were plagued by the fear mongering of uncertainty. Okay. Think about how well the world wants you. Think about how much effort the world puts into you being uncertain about any choice you make. Like, think about it. Like, at the end of the day, what is stopping us from living our lives? Because it ain't no government, it ain't no president, and it shouldn't be no woman, and it shouldn't be no man either. What is actually stopping us from living our life? Uncertainty and the fear of that. Because uncertainty exists whether you fear it or not. But not knowing what comes next keeps us stagnant and frozen, meaning we don't go forward, meaning that we have no new challenge, which is the fucking worst, because now you're just getting your ass whooped in a loop by the same challenge. So either way, you're losing. You're losing either way. 8 on the screen. I see 8 people watching, 8 likes on the 45th minute. Powerful. Powerful. So I see like 8 votes coming in on being tight or soft men. Talk to me about that in the comments. What about men do you find soft so that I can directly address that today? I see people in the comments saying they're dating a narcissist. You just openly claim that you're dating a narcissist. I have no shame, no guilt to put on you. But if you can openly vote that you are dating a narcissist, well, what are you doing? Why are you still there? What attachment have you convinced yourself is stronger than you putting yourself in a better environment? Again, no judgment. I'm just here to help. I'm emotionally intelligent. Boom. Glad you claimed it. I'm tired of tough men. Boom. What is tough? What is a tough man? That's a great point right now. What do we consider in tough men? Is this the macho guy, who actually has like an inferiority complex deep within? And what I mean when I say inferiority complex, like maybe he overcompensates with extra muscle, extra time in the gym because he understands that his insecurity needs to be covered by this physical mirage. And I'm just elaborating. Let me move to the next point. I'm gonna move away from the stoicism. But this is the last part that's important about stoicism that I do rock with. Okay, like I said, I'm not necessarily a stoic, but stop explaining. So clear, positive, masculine energy does not need to explain shit. I found that it was really interesting. I had a relationship where I didn't explain. I just knew what I knew, right? Like I knew what I knew, and I didn't explain my behavior. Now, the gaslighting comes on when it's like this forced requirement to explain something very simply laid out in my mind, not mentally jumbled and just clear. Okay. Gaslighting is when that person is now attempting to make me feel like I need to leave an explanation or apologize. Like clear masculine energy, once again, positive masculine energy, like in order to obey this may sound counterintuitive. We need to stop apologizing. One of the most important lessons I've ever had in my life, I think I was like, I don't even know. I was like 23 or something. And I had a girlfriend tell me to stop saying sorry. And I remember feeling something in my body that was like, ugh, this feels yucky. Am I really saying sorry so much? And that was not me in a positive, strong masculine energy. Me apologizing for everything. Just fucking running around, just throwing out sorries, wasting my energy. Never allowing myself to expand a fucking masculine muscle in my bone, in my whole hormonal and psychological mind. Didn't allow myself to grow outside of that soft ass male response, saying I'm sorry. Now, listen, if you really did something and you were just a straight up dickhead, fucking apologize. Like being emotionally intelligent means that you have the guts, okay? I said that with intention. To be able to apologize with sincerity because you fucked up is a sign of an emotionally intelligent male. That motherfucker has guts. Okay? You look at Jay-Z and Beyonce. Jay-Z got caught cheating on Beyonce. All of us might be like, why the fuck would he do that? Doesn't matter. He got caught. Did you see him ever go up there complaining? Or did you see him apologize? And one of the most sincere ways I've ever seen on national television in an entire album where he just admitted his fault. He told the story. Public transparency. He knew he fucked up. He fucked up. An emotionally intelligent man is able to apologize when they fucked up. But to just go around and just be like, I'm sorry, you bumping, I'm sorry, and then you're snoring at night, and she's, babe, stop snoring. Oh my god, I'm sorry, and it's like, stop, 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 stop. That shit is toxic. It is demeaning to yourself. It won't allow you to take risk in life. You're going to fall victim into false narratives of fear that you are mongering onto yourself to try anything that might actually step on somebody's foot. We need to be more willing to take risk. I think personally that positive masculine energy is willing to take a risk, because if you realize it, if you're leading the way, you're walking unmapped territory, guess what? The entire thing is a risk. So if we keep debilitating ourselves, let's just say, with a toxic masculine trait of over apologizing, very different than being able to apologize, which is an emotionally intelligent person, then we get back on track. Let me check out what's going on. My son's father wants to toughen him up, stuffing the football in his chest, but my son does not like sports. He's a tech guy. A tough man is over the top. Balance is key. The tough man thing is over the top. Okay, I got you. Balance is key. I fully agree with you on that. One of my points that I have written down, typed, literally is, and I'll skip to that one now. All right. I'll skip to that one now based off of it. So let's move on to the next one. Before we do, I wanted to type this sentence, and thank you all for again being here, for dropping that like, dropping that subscribe, bang. Be a rock. When I think of positive masculine energy, I think of to be a rock. Okay, to be the mountain. The mountain doesn't move. Okay, even the sun rotates around the mountain. You feel me? A big rock. And what that means in this moment is like, don't give in to your feminine energy to a point where you become oversensitive. Like, understand that, like, let her be the combustible chaotic energy that we talked about. So here's the second like thing that I think that we need to stop. Okay, we need to stop these 5 things, and they're all forms of escapism. All right. So escapism. When I look at this, I'm gonna go to the point that she made about the football being stuffed into his chest. All right. And it's crazy because I literally put this on here, so you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. Thank you guys for liking this. Thank you for subscribing. Check in. So stop relying for like this is toxic in my personal opinion. Stop relying on TV and sports more than your family. Understand that when that man comes home and he can do nothing except feel entitled that he's earned everything. So much to the extent that he can just wither the remaining of his day away, distracted by sports, gossiping fucking television shows, and prioritize all these things more than their family. That's a sign of toxic masculinity. That's a sign of escapism. Because that stuff is debilitating that man's mental process. Okay. It's distracting them from leading in uncharted territory. Okay. Taking risks in that uncertain territory, like we spoke about, and being a positive masculine role model. To have somebody's kid only watch their father watch television every single day, and then try to force that kid, whether a girl or a boy, to now become the same fan of the same team, to follow the same Capricorn religious traditional structure of this is the sport we like, we're from Philly, we follow Philadelphia. That's not leading a new way. That's leading a way that every other man has already walked. You could change the team, doesn't matter. Every other man is walking that line. We got to stop. This is not a positive image. That could hurt some people, and I just don't care. We got to stop. And any man that gets offended by something like that, he's fucking soft. Why would you prioritize sports over your family? The progression of your family. Realize that if your family is not growing, Even if you don't have a family yet, which is even worse because now that motherfucker really has no ambition. It's like you don't even have the distraction of a family. You're just by yourself, wasting your years away on escapism through the form of media. We got to get in check. But to get more specific on your question about your son being a tech guy, it's like that's the best thing. Look at the world we're living in. It's 2021. Like tech is the it. Tech is the it. So, I'm not the parent, so I'm not going to be like, boom, you guys need to do blah blah blah. But when I look at a situation like that, it's like um, there's some insecurity screaming out. But beyond that, I think what's more important with this is your son to also find a way to find that balance and recognize that part of emotional intelligence, which we're talking about today, and a positive male image is to detach from the label of football is tough. Like that football makes a man tough. That shit is dumb because football makes you brain dead. And to me, that's not tough. Like being brain dead ain't tough. Having concussions ain't tough. You feel me? So we'll move forward on that. All right, escapism. This is a critical one. Positive masculine traits. We got to check in with this. All right. Stop running to alcohol. Understand that marijuana is one that lowers a person's ego, scientifically proven, and alcohol raises and boosts a male or female, whatever, ego. So it's like having an overinflated ego is more of the problem that we need to address rather than having an ego at all. I think sometimes we try to be like, the ego is evil. No, the ego is what it is. Having an overinflated ego is very different. Okay. Having an overinflated ego is very different than having an ego. Having an ego is a good thing. Okay. Having an ego is a part of having a positive masculine image. What you do with that ambition is very different. We need to look at alcohol more honestly and more radically as a distraction. It's a distraction. It's a way to get away and escape the world. Okay, it's a way to get out of your body because all of the mundane parts of living has become potentially overwhelming. Okay, and we're looking for escape. And the thing is with this is like we have to understand that it's wearing a mask. When males run to alcohol, like they're partly wearing a mask. If you find yourself unable to approach a woman without having to take 4 or 5 shots, again, I have been there. I don't even know if it was a matter of I couldn't approach it. It was just so tradition. Like this is what I think is really tough when it comes. It's like an unspoken issue within the masculine community. It's like, one, do they recognize what the issues are? Do they recognize in what way that they're all grouping together like a herd of sheep? We have to understand, like, do men recognize what does the herd of sheep for masculine energy looks like? One of them is going to watch sports on TV as soon as you get home from work and nothing else, and neglecting your family and neglecting the bills, and then pretending or pressing the woman to do every other task. It's like, no, I went home, I went to work, I did my due, and no, that's not enough. And when they complain about you telling them to put the TV away or spend some time with their kid, like again, that complaining, we already talked about that, so we won't go back. Like complaining is not a positive trait. Arguing with the woman who is now saying, "Look, why don't you do something more productive with your son?" Or that ain't it. That ain't it. It's not personal opinion. That's not actually fuck the personal opinion. That's just a fact. That's not a positive masculine role model. Fuck the opinion. That's a fact. We gotta also check in where let's say if you're more in a single space, having to drink alcohol before you go out, before you go talk to a woman, before any interaction gives you the liquid courage. I heard that shit the other day out of a man's mouth, and they said it so casually, like, yeah, just liquid courage. Is like, can you really not have a conversation with the opposite sex? Like, you just can't. Now, if you choose to, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and tell you that I don't drink tequila. I love tequila. Now, there's a difference. Do I need to drink tequila to talk to a woman? Fuck no. If I did need to drink tequila to talk to a woman, I need to check in with my values. I need to check in with my own foundational disturbance, right? Something within my foundational self is disturbed. If I need to boost my ego up through the means of alcohol, scientifically proven to do so, and put a mask on, and then show the world this mask of who am I when I'm drunk. But then when the liquor wears off the system, I have to go look at that mask and put it and hang it up and be like, oh shit, I'm sober now. What do I do? When she starts to want to talk to you again, and it's like, you're gonna fucking go drink again to send her a text message and put the mask back on? Are you gonna now every single time? Because I promise you, if that's how you found the woman and you were wearing this mask all this time, don't be fucked up when you finally decide you want to show her your real self. And she's like, I don't like this motherfucker. I don't like it. Well, you showed her a fake image of you. You represented yourself falsely. Does anybody want to go on a Tinder or Bumble app and meet somebody whose picture does not match who they are today? It's like, yo, you were 60 pounds lighter in your picture, and you're going to go meet me confidently as if nothing changed. You intentionally misrepresented yourself, and you're going to pretend that everything and all is good, and that this false image of who you maybe once were and who you're definitely not now. I'm not going to just base it off of just the weight, like, but if anybody with the mindset that would do something like that, it tells me already that there's more happening behind the scenes. Get the fuck out and run. Anybody that would lie before you even met, there's already something off. That's already a red flag. Okay. Start honoring that. A positive masculine energy can honor red flags. Positive masculine energy can honor a red flag. Positive masculine energy can honor a red flag. If somebody lies to you to your face, positive masculine energy can address that lie. Like I have these tough conversations very frequent. Very frequent. Very frequent. There was a time when I was sitting there dating a girl. And I sat there, I caught her with another guy, and I asked her, are you dating that guy? And then try to go off to the left, to the right, and then try to like give all these like side yada yada yada. And again, clear, positive, masculine, focused energy. I went right back to the question. I said nothing else in between. I listened. I said nothing else in between. I said, are you dating that guy? Yes. Okay. I'm out. The fuck? There's nothing left. My value is way too the fuck up here to begin to any way, in any fucking remote fashion, entertain that bullshit. You lied. You got caught. That's it. If a male then continues to pursue her just because she's bad, just because they have good sex, just because whatever the reason, that's a red flag. And that means, at least in my world, you got to make your own non-negotiables. But in my world, that's a non-negotiable. Fuck no, you're not going to be sitting there taking my energy. I'm not going to give you my energy. Not even a fucking lick. You can't even look. You can't even see me no more. I'm invisible. I never existed. Ooh. We need to start honoring ourselves. We got to stop crossing these boundaries. If I cross that boundary for myself, then I'm betraying myself. Period. I'm sabotaging what I'm worth. Period. Fuck no. There's not much to discuss. The discussion was had. The discussion was very clear. It's very simple. Positive masculine energy is not going to entertain monkey branching. You feel me? Like, that's an obvious monkey brancher. No. Listen, if she wasn't honest about dating others, would you have stuck around? No. Because I'm a Scorpio rising and I knew anyways. If I answered that properly, let me see. Maybe I didn't read that right. If she was honest about dating others. She was honest about dating others. She said she was dating others. She was honest about that. In that moment, when she got caught, she was honest. Which is then I didn't yell at her. I didn't argue. I didn't complain. I said, okay. Then I make my exit. There's not too much more to talk about. because I knew where I was clearly at, and I made it clear what I was at. I was like, look, I'm taking some time to get clear. That's exactly what I was doing. So in the time of me taking time to get clear, this is the action. That's not who I want. That's not the type of that's not the archetype of a woman that I want in my life. That's not going to personally fit in my world. If this is what I say, me taking my time to get clear, with the intention knowing that I need to decide if this is the area to continue to expand. And among so many other things, it's like my entire existence in any positive male influence, personal opinion, is going to be clear, concise about the structure and the disciplines of where they're going. So I had to check in with myself and realize, okay, I'm a little out of balance. I need to get clear. Where are we steering the ship? So in that meanwhile, while doing that, my personal concern and one of my non-negotiables is I can't be concerned and worried about, okay, look, I communicated this with a partner. Can't be concerned and worried about what's happening while I'm in the space of me taking my mental clarity, going in the jungle and sitting down and meditating or whatever the fuck that looks like. Let me check with the comments. What's up? I'm a Scorpio rising, Sag, Sun, and Gemini Moon. Gang. Gemini Moon don't know how to feel emotions, just think. Yeah, and the thing is like, it has its role, Gemini Moon has its role. I don't think it's not that you don't know how to feel emotions, it's that you don't want to go too deep. You're not on the surface designed to feel emotions. On the surface, you're designed to rationalize what that emotion is. Like masculine energy. It's a masculine individual sign, right? So the first four zodiacs are collective signs. Gemini, along with Aries, Cancer, and Taurus. Those are the collective those are the individual signs, right? That's like when we're coming into the world. So like we haven't met other people yet and we haven't met the collective. So individual sign, Gemini, is individually looking to rationally, as a wind sign, dissect with clarity what its emotional state is, and then make objective decisions. Everyone knows how to feel emotions. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we might not all accept our emotions, which is a whole nother level, you know. But if we want to feel, we'll feel. I normally intellectualize my emotions. Yeah, dark sea. What I want to say is, remember, you're more than a Gemini. Even though the moon represents your emotional world, right? Like, okay, I get that part. Um, Boom. So your eighth house forces you to feel it. So like, even though your moon is an emotional, I know the moon is in the emotional world. Private life, what's happening behind scenes, and you may have Gemini there, where it makes it naturally more a process where you want to rationalize and intellectualize your feelings and your emotions. It doesn't mean that you don't have them, for starters. It doesn't mean that you can't feel them. You may not be inclined to, but understand again, you are and we are a collective of all these zodiac signs. You feel me? So the fact that you're a Scorpio rising, it means that your feeling is actually as deep as it fucking goes. You know what I'm saying? Like Pisces may be the most endless in the space of its feelings and ethereal, but at the end of the day, like Scorpio is inclined, it's obliged to feel as deeply as possible. Now, in full analysis of that scorpionic energy as a rising sign, let's not forget that. Fuck, this mosquito was tearing me up, yo. I don't even see you, guy. Leave me alone. Let's not forget that in order for a Scorpio to really begin to feel, it has to heal. Okay. In order for a Scorpio to heal, it has to release. It has to forgive. And if it cannot forgive, then you're gonna more likely not feel. Facts. I do feel a lot. And it's on the rising. See, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, we all got feelings. All right, let me move to the next point. All right, this one's critical, and this is where semen retention comes in major. Stop your addiction to porn. Okay, for masculine energy, in order for you to have a clear masculine outlook on life, your direction, where your ambition and your energy is going to be put into, in order for you to have that clear objective, we need to check in with our addictions. Okay, not just an addiction to porn, any addiction that causes a distraction, especially ones that are found through hedonistic and or inorganic pleasures. So when I say inorganic, um, fake food, all right, like food that comes out of a box, something that, let's say, a male who's really fucking totally distracted would eat microwave meals for convenience and yada yada yada. But is it really convenient? You're gonna be in the doctor's office like for the whole second half of your life, and you're gonna die early, and you're gonna have more bills, which means you're not doing your job to provide not just necessarily financially, but also the stability of the home, because your stability is gonna crash when you have to not pay these doctor bills. So inorganic pleasure, okay, the pursuit of inorganic pleasure is a sign of toxic masculinity. That's counting porn, right? You are not connecting with that woman on a physical level. You are connecting with her psychologically while watching porn. That is inorganic. It is synthetic for an experience. Okay? You're not feeling the same. You feel me? Like, and nobody in the world can tell me that after they finished watching porn, they just felt fucking great. Like, who in the world has ever watched porn afterward? They were like, after those 4 or 5 seconds, whatever, and they were just like, yes, I feel alive. But I bet you after some good sex, you'd be walking around the next day going to work, and everybody looking at you like, I know what you got last night, because you ain't look like that in 3 weeks. You got some, you feel me? So, um, inorganic. Think about it. Same thing with food, inorganic foods. You go ahead and eat that organic meal, vegan, vegetarian, call it what you want, whatever is organic for you. Eat that organic meal, you feel alive. No? You feel alive. You don't feel heavy. You don't feel lethargic. You don't feel like you're fatigued and ready to just go take a nap where you got to unbuckle your belt buckle and lean back because your stomach's so full. Okay. But when you eat inorganic food, box food, canned food, whatever that is, McDonald's, all that other bullshit, you put that in your body, especially in this form of distracting yourself, okay? Because food is a distraction. Let's not get it twisted, all right? I'm just saying this, I'm calling this a fact. Like, we got really far away from what a healthy diet could look like. We're real far away. So understand that when you ate that inorganic food, you feel like a slob. And the next day you're depressed as fuck. And it's already proven how many sciences that we need to put out there. Nobody is nobody is confused anymore about the information. You know what's bad for you. You know what you eat when you feel good, and you know what you eat when you feel like shit. So we're not gonna go there. So inorganic, positive masculine energy versus toxic masculine energy. One is involved in inorganic hedonistic pleasures through food, sex. I mean, shit, those are big enough. I don't need to name anymore. Food and sex. It's like life. All right, let me look at this. For me, astrology is a tool, but our spirit exists outside of it. We can access any part of astrology as we master ourselves outside the matrix. It can be easy to use astro as an excuse, though. Yeah, you know, when I look at astrology, it's like it's the story of the two wolves, right? The good wolf and the bad wolf. Who are you feeding? Are you feeding the good wolf? It's gonna grow. Are you feeding the bad wolf? It's gonna grow. That's astrology for me. At least in the sample that you just gave me, what you just said, right? So that's how I look at it as a tool. You're gonna get a map, but that map has to be followed by choices. Okay. So what we talk about with positive masculine energy. Positive masculine energy is creating the map, creating the focus. Where am I going? However, at the same time, it is also what else? Woo! Anybody feeling fucking pumped right now? Anybody feeling pumped right now? I just got like, ah, you feel me? You see the synchronicities connecting? Positive masculine energy. You create the map, you create the method, you get in line, you get real clear, you take your time, Saturn, okay, structure, discipline, you take your time, Earth energy, Capricorn, You get the knowledge, the plan and play. Aquarius, also ruled by Saturn. Those two working together in tandem. And because Aquarius is a part of that, it means if you get in line, you follow your higher consciousness, what happens? A couple shocks. Aquarian type shocks, surprises, and just irrational fucking growth. Irrational growth is the result. We don't have to focus on the outcome. We need to focus on the living. But along that result is going to be, it's like, what is it? It's the star card in tarot, no? Aquarius, it's the star card in tarot. You're going to become the star. And the people that you were protecting with the positive masculine route is also going to become a star. Whether that's your family, whether that's your kids, y'all all stars. You feel me? When you put the discipline in, you put the structure in, you use your higher mind, which does not allow emotions, because a part of emotional intelligence is recognizing your emotions, not denying your emotions, not pretending they're not valid, but also not being controlled by them. Taking them in as messages to tell you what the fuck is up. But at the end of the day, which wolf are you feeding? Because right there, this example, astrology is the map. Astrology is giving you. It's like, look, no, Pernell, this is you, motherfucker. This is me. I can't deny that. I got that Pisces in the 4th house. My 4th house was fucking crazy. Like I was an illusion, right? Like there was mistakes written all over it. My childhood was like a Pisces. It was like there was emotional sensitivities that were overwhelming, that caused me to jump out. That's not fake. It's telling me who I am. It's telling me why Virgo in the 10th house is telling me why I'm going to be so controlling over my public image, Virgo 10th house. Okay. And so with that, I have choices to make. Am I going to be neurotic and a perfectionist and never put anything out? Because that's what happens when Virgo is out of alignment on that 10th house scale. Right here, this is me publicly showing up on a YouTube video, right? And that's going to be letting me that feminine energy of the Virgo take over and get real petty, get real snappy, get real sarcastic. Or when you take the analyzation skills of the Virgo, I'm going to connect dots. And I'm going to remember that I'm a mutable sign. And a mutable sign does what? Closes the deal. Virgo is a deal closer, okay? Virgo is the master at closing deals. You feel me? And yeah, like Gemini, but in other whatever. But you feel me? That's which wolf am I feeding behind that Virgo 10th house in this example? Am I feeding the analytical one that helps me to create the plan, so that I can rely back and turn on to my Aries that pushes the plan forward, that says, yes, good plan, Virgo, and push that bitch relentlessly? Or am I going to fall into the hypercritical, overanalyzing, okay? Not analyzing, overanalyzing, perfectionist? Which wolf are you feeding? Okay. Oh, I practice semen retention. Bang. It's necessary. Oh, I practice semen retention. One more love you. Yeah, that's true. And it magnetizes your aura, right? Like semen retention. Do you guys like my new plant, by the way? I just bought this yesterday. My little bamboo. I didn't give it a name yet. Sorry, I'm a plant lover. I am a plant dad. It's my first plant in the United States ever. My last plant was in Colombia. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so semen retention makes you more magnetic. Thank you guys for the likes up. I want to have you one more time. Just hit that subscribe button. If you haven't dropped a thumbs up, please do that, whether you're watching this on a replay or now. And also just know that I'm running a spiritual business mastermind. It's coming up, and it's gonna be just a brainstorm session, yo. Like, we're getting ready for travel. Travel is definitely on the map. Anytime you got Sagittarius energy in the sky, and reminds you, we're making plans for the travel, right? So it's like, we're envisioning where we want to live. So like, I just mapped it out today, and I've been already thinking about it. It's like, I'm moving to Lisbon, Portugal. Like, I'll be there in some months. So everything after that, it's like, make the plan. So I dropped that in. We're gonna be I figured, like, right here it's gonna happen on the full moon of Gemini. On Gemini, there's gonna be a full moon. And what's happening is, back from June, we had all these ideas from that Gemini solar eclipse. And with that said, it's like all these ideas right now, they need to, like the Gemini immutable sign, it needs to be pulled together. Okay. So we're going to mind map and brainstorm about our careers in the spirit path. Let's just say, like, if you're out here and you're a healer or a worker, it's like, we don't have to keep trying to figure this out by ourselves. We can share how are other people making money on this path, right? Because it's like nobody, if you're really out here, you're a light worker, you're a healer, you're a starseed, it's like you don't need to be working at Walmart at the cash register. You need to stop that shit. You need to get on path. Okay. You need to get on path. Thank you for that. Like, I see you there. So we're doing this brainstorming, also to understand, because we're going to be looking through our astrology charts, because, you know, I love astrology. So we're going to be brainstorming, you know, how to feed the good wolf and recognize the bad wolf, right? That's what I love about astrology. When men retain their semen, we're cultivating our own feminine energy. Bet. Absolutely. And more mental energy and clarity, higher testosterone. Absolutely. Also working out on your legs. Most of your testosterone is in your legs for any gentlemen watching this. So if you don't do leg workouts, you're likely not maximizing that. My chart has 0 degrees. Leo, Virgo. I'm sorry, that's too much. I cannot do a quick analysis. That is a whole natal reading. I cannot do a quick analysis. Pump, 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 bang. Thanks for showing me up tonight, man. Real good talk. Been here for about 10 minutes and I'm feeling fired up. Fuck yeah, because you're an individual. It's a vibe. Duh. Love the plant. Hell yeah. Okay, bang. So let's move to the next point. All right, here's the last. I'm gonna run through these last two and then get to the next parts because, ooh. All right, here we go. Gambling. Okay, the reason why gambling is really a toxic form of masculinity is because you're relying on luck. Okay, when you gamble, that's not, you can't really self-assure yourself, right? Like positive masculinity is self-assurance. When I can assure myself that this investment will pay dividends, or at bare minimum, that yeah, I'm still taking a risk, but I'm gambling on myself. I'm gambling on my ability to push this project forward. Gambling on the opposite end, it's a reliance on luck, and on top of that, it's getting us addicted to the dopamine response, that hit of the possibility that you might get lucky. Okay, it's not the possibility that your self-assurance is playing out. It's very different. The possibility that you might get lucky. And then looking for that form of instant gratification, whether we realize it or not. Gambling is a form of instant gratification. You may win, you may lose, you may win, you may lose. And how many of our relationships look like that? Fucking roller coasters. Woo! That's not fun. Please, somebody in the chat, tell me who has fun in their love life when they're riding an emotional roller coaster full of fucking highs and lows, and they never just know. That's not fun. I don't know if it's fun for you. It ain't fun for me. So when I say gambling, the problem with this is another form of distraction. Okay, and we need to learn how to delay instant gratification. All right, when we learn how to delay instant gratification, we really begin to win. You begin to win when you delay instant gratification, because I really believe that it's one of the reasons why men are so soft. Okay, today, I believe this is why I don't want to say we're lacking in real men, but it's like there's not enough real men that's also standing up and talking. All right. We also, even if there are real men out there, it's like they're not out there sharing the wealth. And when I say the wealth, I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about the experience. I'm talking about the wisdom coming from their experience, something that they've actually done, not something that they heard about. And that's where this goes on, the instant gratification. It's like our men aren't doing enough today. You feel me? They're not doing enough. They're fucking regurgitating some fake ass motivational guru who regurgitated another fake ass motivational guru, which these motherfuckers aren't even gurus. So we need to even take that. We need to strip that away. They're not even gurus, just motivational speakers who are speaking from a lack of experience, a void of wisdom. This is a problem. This is Sagittarius South Node coming to a close. This is South Node and Sagittarius coming to a close. People dogmatic in their self-entitled rulership that I am the master of blah, blah, blah. You're not the master of shit. If you was, we would know. You feel me? Did fucking Denzel Washington ever need to go on live TV and say, I am the master of making movies? No. We just fucking know that he is a great actor. He didn't need to claim he was a master. The monk Thich Nhat Hanh, did he need to claim from Vietnam that he was the master of meditation? No. Neither did Buddha. People put him there. You feel me? Nikola Tesla. Look at all these names. Like, you don't, if you're the master of something, you don't gotta talk about it. I know a lot of people on this channel from the Peace Dealer right now. Has anybody heard the Peace Dealer ever say that he was a master of astrology? No. That's dumb. So let me see where we're at. Are you talking about soft, passive men? Yes. I think that instant gratification is part of what makes men soft and passive. I think instant gratification is part of what makes men soft and passive. Too many are growing up with their spoons fed, you know, their mom or whoever taking care of all their problems. Like this is something that I grew up in. My mom did her best with a Virgo ascendant and a Libra sun, let's just say, to take care of all my problems. She kept trying to create the balance and harmony in my life for me as a kid. She kept trying to nitpick every little detail and take care of it for me. You ever seen a Virgo in toxic form? A Virgo in toxic form tries to take care of the task for another person. They're overstepping their own boundary of what service means to be a Virgo when they do that. A Virgo is not here to do everything for the next person. So that's not to sit there and criticize my mom. I'm not saying that. We all have our conditionings. We all got our shit. But what it did for me, which is really what I'm focusing on, is like I had to walk my own path. So this is the magic, because instead of accepting it, I basically rejected it all the way. More likely than not, more than I should have. Because to be honest, I rejected it to an extent where I created my own level of toxicity of I couldn't accept help from anybody. Right? So we all got our shit. We need to be a little more emotionally honest and stop pretending. Because I couldn't come up here and talk to you from a place of wisdom if I never was in a soft, passive role. Did you just hear what I just said? I could never come up here and actually speak in integrity about soft, passive men and not admit that I've never been soft, passive, or passive aggressive. That would be a lie. And if it wasn't a lie, then I have no right to be talking to you about this. You feel me? Like this has to be experiential. Any teacher that has not experienced what they're teaching you, tell them to fuck off. They didn't earn your time. They didn't earn your money. They didn't earn your respect. Positive masculine energy is so on board with itself and able to validate itself and so absent of insecurity that they're willing to take these blows, these judgments, these gaslights, these psychological warfares that other people want to put on them. They're able to take the emotional drama and all that shit for them. A male in his positive masculine form, he is indestructible, impermeable. Okay, all that stuff just slicks off. It's just like fucking butter on a skillet. It just slide. You feel me? But our men today are not like that. Our men today cannot take an emotional punch to the jaw. Our men today are being run by women, and women know it, and women hate it. Women don't like that shit. They don't want to be able to run all over their man. Women don't like that shit. That does not make a woman feel safe. Anybody that's walking, that listens to this right now on the other side, like, if you're a woman, please let me know. Does that make you feel safe when you can dominate your man and he has no backbone? Does that make you feel safe? Is that what you want? And if it's not what you want, then why are you also in that relationship too? So we all got things to step up to and take accountability for. Okay, every single one of us in this conversation, myself included. All right, yeah, I understand. I had the same problem only recently in my life, and I have understood to speak my masculine truth without being scared of people thinking I'm nice. Absolutely. Boom. Exactly, man. Spot on. Boom. Really pathetic. Bang. Yeah, I think women will want a man that speaks up for her and himself as her man. I have dated a lot of alpha female types in my life where I'm always ready. Like I stay ready to speak up or kill the next person. And I'm gonna be honest, I take them out. I'm that guy. I will take them out of the game. However, I've also found myself dating a lot of, let's say, strong, independent women where when she wants to handle herself, she wants to speak up for herself, generally she does. I mean, at least the women that I've dated, they generally speak up for themselves. And a point where it's like, I'm there on standby. I'm ready to slap a hoe if I have to. And when I say hoe, I'm not talking about a female, but whoever is disrespecting my woman is it's not, no matter what, whether she get him or I get him, it's not good for them. You feel me? Um, but I also am a strong believer of like, women can take care of themselves. And if she wants to, I'm gonna let her. But I'm also still doing that behind the scenes. I don't have to like beat my chest to be like, yeah, you better not fuck with us kind of thing. Like it's like she normally is the one, which is also another problem because if another man is doing that to her and well, fucking, well, first off, I gotta change that up because if that's another man doing that to her, then I'm still gonna let her chew him out. But I'm still gonna be staring there at the behind. I'm still gonna be like right there side by side with her. I'm gonna be looking him in the eye, and I'm gonna be like, I dare you to do something different. You better let her chew you the fuck out. So, when I can't say that that's an alpha male move. I can't say it's a sigma or omega. Honestly, about these labels and names, I don't care. But what I can say is when that's happening for me, I am sitting right there on the side shoulder, even while she's chewing him out, and I'm still looking at him like, I dare you to say anything back to her. I will end you, and I mean it. And that person can always tell on the other side, like, that motherfucker means it. So he better sit there and shut up and take it. But if she sat there and came to me at the same time, was like, babe, honestly, this guy or this woman is really like, I would step up and do that. I would step up and be like, hey, look, it's time to move along. All right, let me look at what's going on. All right, so the next one. Here's another key sign. I put the sirens on this bad boy. Ambition. Positive masculine energy. Thank you all for those thumbs up. I'm gonna say one more time for those watching live or replay, hit that thumbs up for me real quick. Hit that subscribe button real quick. And also importantly, today I just set this up today, and we're doing a brainstorming session. I just want to get more like-minded creative people also like rock with spirituality in their own way. You don't need to be considered like, some spiritual mastermind, but it's like I really want to help people start being able to live their passion, okay, which is what I think of in the space of spiritual. Live their passion, um, create their dreams, brainstorm, stop thinking that they have to do it alone, share ideas about how we make money in the spiritual community, stop trying to make it some grand fucking secret, and check in with our relationship dynamics of, where do we need to reinforce certain red flags that we've been ignoring, or where do we need to honor our integrity for what we've actually already accomplished. So like I'm looking at this as an open because it's Gemini full moon, right? So I'm looking at it open, adaptable. Um, the way I set it up, we're going to take a vote when we're in the group, all right, about here's some outline topics that are possible that I just mentioned, and where would you guys like to go? So check in with my community. We just had our workshop. I do only two a month. I only do two a month, and it's always new moon. It's always full moon. We just did our last one for the solar eclipse this past weekend. They were vision boards, fucking awesome. This one's going to be more of like, look, just a mastermind, open conversation discussion. We're putting people in breakout groups. All right. So put them in. We're going to come in a group of 20 and we're putting in micro groups of like 5 groups of 4, and hey, you guys mastermind, you guys mastermind. And that's going to evolve of what that turns out to be. You'll hear that as I keep speaking, because I got a Gemini Venus. And so it's like my shit always is moving. You know what I mean? Like, all right, here we go. Ambition. All right. Thank you guys for those thumbs up. Ambition. Positive masculine energy and a positive image. When you have a male, look, when you talk about ambition, it's like, look, if the male does not have an ambitious bone in his body, he's out of balance. He's out of balance. If he's not ambitious towards the goals that he set, or more likely he didn't set goals, which is probably why he's lacking ambition as well, he's out of balance. Okay, there's no structure. If there's no structure, we go back to that feminine, chaotic, combustible energy, which is now just going to explode with no container, which means that everybody around is in danger. Okay, when the male is not in his positive masculine image, positive container to hold, to make the feminine energy feel safe, so that it can blow up as big as it wants. Okay, feminine energy needs to fucking blow without having to worry about who is going to get hurt, without having to worry about who about what's next. She just needs to fucking explode. And you need, as a male, to be there to hold her, to let her know, baby girl, I know you got the juice. You got the juice. You can fuel a tank with this fuel. You feel me? Like, you got a woman who's so combustible, she can fuel jets and fucking Elon Musk rockets. You better give her a container so that she can just, you feel me? Like, she just needs to go Super Saiyan. And you need to let her, by making sure that your ambition can match her explosion. Chaos, order, magic. Chaos plus order is magic. Magic, broken more simplistically, is a manifestation. It's even funny that to get more simplistic, we say manifestation, but whatever. Kid the Misfit. Thank you. I appreciate you. Value your time and your level of access that you give to others. This is what's critical about ambition. Males, positive masculine energy. You don't have time to be texting all day long. Males, you don't have time, if you're really ambitious, if you're really clear on your mission, to be texting all day long, especially not multiple fucking people. Okay? If you got 5, 6 girls that you're talking to and you're in that dating limbo, you're not clear on your mission. I'm going to say this again. If you got 5, 6 females that you're talking to, or maybe more, and you're texting them all day, and you got that much time to give out, you're not clear. You're in some toxic self-sabotaging behaviors and habits. You're falling victim to distractions. Okay? Women are also a distraction for males. Like, let's not get it twisted. Women are distractions for males. They can be. For the male who's not aligned. I got my eye on this one woman. Bang. And so as a part of how much access you give to her, understand that not everybody's going to like this on the other side of the live. But a woman needs to earn your attention. And this is why it's important for us to not be over emotional and to be a rock. Not that an emotionally intelligent person can understand that they have emotions, can understand that they're fucking angry. They can understand that they just need to cry, and they can cry without putting the pressure on their counterpart, on their female, to make them feel like they need to sit by there and hold their hand and fucking wipe their tears. If she does that, that's fine. That's great. That's dandy. But to manipulate a woman to get that level and that form of validation that everything's gonna be okay, you're not playing a strong masculine role. I'm telling you outright, you're not playing a strong masculine role. And even with the one female that we have our eyes on, because to be honest, I'm more of a one woman man. It's just who I am. Um, I travel the world, and I've lived in a lot of different countries at this point over the last 4 years, and it's like, with that being said, I've been running into a lot of the polygamy, um, a lot of the open relationships, the concept, like, and when I came back home to myself, what I came back to is like, to be honest, like for me, to be honest, it's like I want a woman, quite frankly, to be like, that's my woman. If I'm being real. And I want her to claim me just as much. And it's a requirement. To be sitting here playing left, right, trying to pretend that I'm cool with her being with somebody else in a romantic sense, it's not my role. If that's what you want, that's okay. I'm going to the left. I'm going to the left. Now, I also say this as somebody else say, like, in my personal opinion, a positive masculine energy does not put themselves in a state of fear if their woman is with a male. I think that's a weak man. If your woman can't be around a male, I think that's a weak man. However, with and through communication with me and my personal female, whoever that is, the discussions are clear. And what I mean when I say that is it's like, are you my woman or not? Yes or no? Not too much fucking room to negotiate in the middle. So it's like, with that being said, I think that a strong male can be secure and allow his female to be outside and realize that, like, what the fuck, like, why control what her natural impulse is? If anybody's natural impulse is to hang out with somebody and they feel a connection with them, look, we got soulmates all over the place. Who the fuck are we to act like nobody else has no other soulmate except for me? I'm the only soulmate in the entire world. Fuck no. That's this romanticized ideal of soulmates. We got to get rid of that. Personal opinion. We got to get rid of that. But it's a fact. We got to get rid of that. I got zero experience with women. All right. So value your time. That's what I wanted to put. And when I say value your time, your woman has to continuously earn your time. That's a continuous battle, and you need to continuously set that frame where you recognize when she gets out of balance. You recognize when she gets out of line, right? When the time that she earned is now disrespected. Okay, if you're with your own woman, your woman starts canceling on you for the next plan, this and that, like, she's flaky, she's not dependable, um, she's probably playing you more likely than not, and she's a snake. So cut the cut the tie. Like, if my woman is not giving me her attention and it's split between multiple other interests, I need to value my time. I need to cut her time. Period. Period. And this is where I think soft men go over the line, because now they start thinking, oh, what's wrong? And they want to be nice. And I played this role and I used to want to be nice. And I wanted to pretend that I didn't know that something shifted. And then get needy and come closer and want to start messaging more. But we got to realize that, like, we're really out here in a doggy dog world where it's like, when that starts to happen, here's what's happening on the other end. Your woman is sitting there with her girlfriend, getting ready to go meet her fuck dude, and it's on your expense as the nice guy. So she's now monkey branch and playing your energy. And I had to recognize that I was in this loop before. I had women monkey branch and playing off of my energy. because I didn't set the frame while somebody else is getting my cookies. That's what the fuck? No. This is the point behind my first point of value your time and the level of access that you give to others. After a woman giving you strong choosing signals, you can go back 2 years later and use lockdown as an excuse. No, fuck that. No, no. I'm just gonna say no. That's just a no. All right, back to ambition. Willpower, baby. This is the next one under the space of ambition. Willpower. Willpower to discipline others that are out of line. What's the consequence? So this is why that's a no. There has to be a consequence to that. Okay. If there's 2 years later, she's coming back after lockdown, after giving choosing decisions, guess what? She was fucking somebody else in the last 2 years. Not saying that's right or wrong, but it was happening. And if it hurt you in the gut, which it would probably hurt me, and it has in my life, then you already know what's up. So the question now is, what's the consequence? Are you giving her access to you, even still? You feel me? Mars and Capricorn, don't waste my time. Fuck yeah. Yo, today I deleted um maybe 6 numbers of women that somehow, some way I've kept in my web over years that I haven't seen in years that would have these random little like hey texts or whatever the fuck is up. Whatever way in the middle of the contact will be made. Today I deleted about 6 numbers and I went through names, people that I had in my lifetime sexual relationship with, wanted to idealize and romanticize that there was something more or that there was a possibility for a future somewhere different down the line in some random country. And I had to say, Pernell, enough. I had to say, Pernell, enough. Like, value your time and the access that you give to people. So, not only did I delete the message, but the number, like the number, so that if I ever did get a text back, and that's an if, there's going to be a blank number there. And that blank number shows me something like, hey, where you been? Yada, yada, yada. There's no reason for me to give my time. I know that number is not on my phone. And if like, otherwise, if it was a new business contact or something like that, like you could be, I'll be able to tell like, all right, like, is this somebody that I once upon a time knew that got deleted off the roster, that was taking up my time, even if indirectly, because they were occupying my mind space? I don't have time for that. I don't have space for that in my mind. Like where I'm going, the mission just got upgraded. So as a mission got upgraded, I got more weight to drop. People need to figure out their wants, needs, how to communicate that, be honest, set boundaries, commit to other, grow, and then compromise with a partner or agree that it isn't a match. Stop wasting people's time. Absolutely. Sounds like manipulation on their end. I mean, isn't all this shit manipulation? I think the key thing that we got to look at, thank you guys for those likes up and those thumbs and those subscribes. I think the thing that we got to look at is all of it is manipulation, but the manipulation is coming from the men and the women. But how men manipulate and how women manipulate, that is the difference. I think men oftentimes manipulate through being nice, unless they're obviously physically abusive. I think a male is less likely to be playing psychological games. I think that's more of a woman's thing. If you're a male playing a psychological game, you a bitch. I said it. I said it. If you're a male playing psychological and emotional games with anybody, you're a little bitch. The only time you can do that is in war with another man in a sport. Because I won't lie to you, like when I was playing sports, I used to get in people's head. I'm like, look, I'm gonna just let this dude mess up. I'm not even gonna have to work that hard. Just let him mess up. But if you're doing this with a female in a love relationship and you're manipulating through psychological games and lying and being nice as a form of manipulation rather than being kind, then you a little bitch. Male narcissist, play head games. Yeah, and we don't got time for them. Because again, an emotionally intelligent person is the cure to narcissism. You can't the worst enemy for a narcissist is a dark empath. You ever heard of a dark empath? Um, and if not a dark empath, like an empath that accepts their power. An empath that accepts their power and in its entirety is one that is emotionally intelligent, and one that is emotionally intelligent is the worst nightmare for a narcissist because they're not going to give them grade A energetic supply. Okay, they're not going to give them that prime 3000% generator that just keeps going and going and going like the bunny. Intelligent people, from an emotional standpoint, cannot be manipulated. And they likely got that way because they played those games and they got played over and over and over. I played this role, I got played over and over and over. But today, I thank all of you motherfuckers. All of you motherfuckers that played me, thank you. Because it will never happen again. Like, it's like I'm ungettable now. Like I'm calling that out loud. Like at this point, like you made me untouchable to all forms of narcissism. And I thank you. Like I genuinely mean that. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you to all my karmic contracts that I signed in my past life for me to meet X, Y, and Z narcissistic personalities and all their disorders. Thank you. Our contracts are fucking done. You got to call that out sometime. Our contracts are done. And that's where emotional intelligence plays in. And I actually had that piece coming up at the end about what the emotional intelligence piece comes in. So let's get to this next one. Clear focus and dedication to get there. All right, here's a key one that I like. I heard this somewhere, so I can't really credit them because I don't know where I heard it. But men write their promises in pen. Okay? Real men write their promises in pen. When a man says something, his word is now his bond, his word is now his integrity. Women write their promises in pencil. And this is where the chaotic energy comes in because it's changeable. Okay. This is why we need the male figure to be clear and concise about where we're going, what the needs are of the group that's being led, what needs to be protected and feel safe. Here's why we need that, right? Because women write promises in pencil, which means that it can erase, which means that it fades away over time. You feel me? Pen doesn't fade. Women are like clouds. Exactly. They fucking change. They change. It's part of their duty. It's part of their purpose. It's part of their design. So men, especially soft, passive men that can't accept that that is a part of a woman's nature, you're going to keep being at the shit end of the stick. You're going to always be disappointed. You're always going to betray yourself if you just refuse to accept the sheer and simple fact that a woman is like a cloud and that women write promises in pencil, which means that she will change her mind over and over and over again. It means that she will lie, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Because what is a lie anyway? Like, it's a contradiction. People change their mind. So at any moment when a person changes their mind, they lie. I'm a liar. And I say that as a person full of integrity. I'm a liar. I have changed my mind somewhere in my life. However, clear masculine energy takes the time. They take the time to get very and uniquely precise on where they're going. That's the key. You know, immature masculine energy who runs in the fear of uncertainty, they make quick decisions because they don't know what to do next. And they just run and get a job, and they just run and cheat on their wife, and they just run and do something stupid because they weren't clear. And they would think, well, my wife may run around and change her mind. Lady will just fucking go do something quick and then change her mind. And because you didn't get clear on your wants and your needs and set your frame, your non-negotiables, uncertainty broke you. But you can't let that happen anymore because you're watching this video. And as a part of this, when I say men write promises in pen, the next point I put is don't be indecisive. Take actions and be willing to fail. Positive masculine energy is willing to fail and to not look at it as a failure rather than they were moving forward. There was a hole unexpectedly in the ground and they fell in. But you know what? I would rather fall into a new hole that I just didn't know was there, that I'm going to survive, that will teach me a new lesson and keep me observant and actually enhance my ability to observe my spatial surroundings, my energetic surroundings. Because my role as a positive male figure is to protect who I am leading as a trailblazer, which means that I will get pricked with some thorns on the way. And it's not my job as an insecure little bitch to go back to the people that I'm protecting, to the people who I'm securing a path for, and complain and whine and explain why I didn't get the job done. You feel me? Don't be indecisive. Take action and be willing to fail. Understanding that failing is just some fucking dumbass definition that we created that holds us back. It's not about failing. You can't really fail, okay? You can't really fail. And if you hit rock bottom, that's good because now you have a foundation. You know where you can build from. You know that from here at this rock bottom that it's solid ground, which means that you can only build up. This is what I love about rock bottom. And what I like to do is through your daily mantras, through your spiritual practices, through your rituals, morning and night, your mudras, whatever you're doing on your path, understand that as you are climbing the success of yourself, okay, en route to the goal, to the mission, and enjoying the process along the way, as you are climbing, when you're doing the spiritual practice, what you're doing is you're putting a little bit of filler, okay? You're dropping a foundation, and then you climb again, and then you're dropping foundation. This is what your rituals are doing. And then you're climbing again, and then you hit your head, and then you fall down. But guess what? This is where you started, but you only fall down here. Why? You don't fall back down to where you really began, right? You don't really go back to the beginning. You only fall down to the structure that you formed for yourself. Okay? When you climb and you fill it in and you climb and you fill it in, you climb, you fill it in, and the filling it in looks like your rituals. It looks like something simple like brushing your teeth. It looks like eating organic meals. It looks like not complaining. Okay? It looks like in your positive masculine energy, it looks like not explaining why you took the path that you took, but just having faith and confidence that you did that path. You intuitively, you knew this is where we need to go. You were leading you were leading the pack. As you do all this stuff, you're filling in your foundation so that when you fall again, you hit rock bottom. Rock bottom's not all the way down where you really were born. None of us has hit rock bottom and went back to fucking our mother's womb, did we? Like, tell me the last time you hit rock bottom and you just went back inside the womb. You're just like, excuse me, mom, come me through. You feel me? Like, has that ever happened? Have you ever went back to the bottom? Have you really ever started over? Or did you start over from the last point that you've secured. You feel me? It's like an RPG video game, right? Where when you die, you only go back to the stage that you've already completed. Everything prior, you've already completed it. Well, even if you had to start over, you know the path. You know what to do now. You feel me? So this is what I had to look at for me myself as a Scorpio rising. I had to look at myself like, all right, Pernell, you're Scorpio rising, bro. Eventually, I had to stop bitching because my Scorpio rising was super fucking bitter. Okay, super unforgiving, super wanting to complain about shit sometimes, keeping me in empowerment. The two things that Scorpio rising go through: empowerment or disempowerment. So if you're empowered, if you're disempowered, I mean, then you can't be empowered. You can only have one or the other. If you're empowered, you can't be disempowered. It's very simple for Scorpios. We make our shit complicated because we refuse sometimes to accept that there's this stage of disempowerment, but it's self-inflicted. Okay, the Scorpion stings itself. That's the way that it can kill itself. That's what makes it so dangerous. Not that it can kill anybody else with a death stare, that the fact that it can kill itself is what makes it so dangerous. Because anything that's willing to kill itself is something you need to watch the fuck out for. You feel me? Like, that's something I'm scared of. I'm scared of something that's willing to kill itself out of confusion and disempowerment. That's scary. But I say this to say, as I got through this bitterness and the unforgiving nature, if you will, and accepted that as a Scorpio rising, I have to continuously be reborn, and accepted that I can never lose, and that I know every time I give up the item of my prized possessions, like whatever my fucking eyes are like, my body and my soul is like, I want this. Fixed in nature, okay? I enjoy this. Opposite side of Taurus and pleasure, okay? Fixed on its pleasures. And Taurus is the simple pleasures, which makes Scorpios the exotic, wild ass, esoteric pleasures that can't even be seen. You feel me? Which makes it more dangerous. It's addicted to that. So as I got on board and realized that releasing this pleasure, releasing my desires, brings me new desires that I didn't know I wanted yet. And every single time it's gotten better. As a Scorpio, anybody watching as a Scorpio, any Scorpio placement you have, look at that part in your chart and realize that if you can get on board with this mentality, I promise you, your life will fucking glow up. You're going to glow up. You're going to glow up. Why? Because you already know intuitively what I'm saying is right. It always gets better when we let go of what we think we're losing. And this is where that point comes in where it says, stop taking free. Easy work equates to soft men. Okay? They have no callous. You ever seen that when a new guy comes to the home and he goes, I love your daughter. I want to marry your daughter. And the guy goes, let me see your hands, son. And you look at that man's hands and they soft. He ain't got no callus. He ain't got no working hands. You can't marry my daughter. Why? Why, sir? Because you can't protect her. Because you can't provide for her. You've never done anything hard in your life. You fucking soft, son. You soft. You're soft. You can't take my daughter. You can't have her hand. Listen. So what that means is stop taking free. We need to look at men a lot more in a sense like Capricorns. Like Capricorn will never step outside of his integrity to claim something that was free, that it didn't work for, that it didn't earn, that it didn't master with its own steps. Real men fill their own shoes. They don't look outside of themselves and think, how can I fill shoes the way that man did? A real man with a positive level of masculine energy, okay? Positive masculinity looks like filling your own shoes, not taking free, and realizing that free and easy work and things that are given to you does not build any integrity. You can't gain wisdom from. Listen, this is the problem. We're thinking that we're gaining wisdom from the wisdom of someone else's story. Doesn't work like that. You can gain knowledge from someone else's wisdom, but you can't gain wisdom from someone else's experience, because wisdom means that you live the experience. Did you live the knowledge that you're collecting online? Okay, great. You know how to fucking sage your house. You have the knowledge to buy sage. Have you done it? You feel me? Like, or did you hear about it? Did you know you're supposed to do it, quote unquote? Like, this is my point. Like, you have to try. You have to be willing to step into something uncertain, like a man, and be willing to take whatever blow is on the other side of that door. Kid the Misfit, I like your teachings. Your energy reminds me a lot of my dad's. Dang, what's your dad placements? Be dope to hear. Um, Anybody in here, just want to throw it out there again. Really would love for you guys to check in, join my email list. You're going to get a free book. It's an astrology book. Also has numerology in there. It also has a way for you to set your values, a way for you to set goals, but not necessarily goals to hit a target, rather than to understand the process. Okay, how to navigate that process. So I dropped that right there. Other than that, I am going to drop this. And if anybody didn't hear earlier, we're going to do a brainstorming session for like a spiritual mastermind. How to share our ideas and come together to actually honor the fact that we're in the age of Aquarians, again, with action, coming together in groups, rather than knowing that, yeah, we got to start forming groups and we just don't. All right, here we go. Here's the last one here. Pay attention. That's the last one here. Pay attention to who you're protecting and providing for, and make sure that they're dependable too. This is a part of like being mindful of who you give access to and valuing your energy. Like, don't value somebody who's not dependable. Like, a positive, in my personal opinion, masculine image and role in society is aware of who they are protecting, because this is where clarity comes in, right? Like, clear, concise direction. Positive masculine energy is clear, concise direction, right? If you don't know who you're protecting, if you don't know who's in your flock, you feel me? If you're the sheep herder, but you don't know that you have 30 sheep, so when you missing one and you only got 29 and you're not accountable for that, that's a problem. That is a problem. And with that being said, to also know that the people are dependable. So like, oftentimes you look at that sheep flock again for an example, it's like, generally your sheep are dependable, no? They're making wool for you, right? You're not protecting them for no reason. They're making wool for you. They're feeding you. They're giving you milk. I don't know what the fuck else a lamb does, to be honest. But is your lamb dependable? Is your woman dependable? Are you dependable for your woman? Or are you worried about what she's doing when you're not around? That's a problem. That's a mental distraction. No man should be worried about what his woman is doing when he's not there. No man. And if you are, then I think you're out of balance. All right. 555 on the screen. Bang, bang. Big changes coming, baby. Be a rock. Don't give. For my positive note, I think real men really know how to be a rock, and they don't give into their feminine energy. They can recognize that it's there. They recognize it exists. They allow themselves to cry. They realize that that's healthy. An emotionally intelligent man knows that crying is healthy. And actually, I be asking God sometimes, let me cry. Like, sometimes I gotta ask, and every time I do, it happens. A healthy male can understand that their emotions are valid. Now, they don't manipulate people with those emotions. Okay, that's that soft shit. They're not passively aggressive. They're not trying to communicate through fucking attitudes. And thanks for subscribing, Dark G. I'm sorry, what did I say? Dark energy, dark light energy. Um, positive masculine energies do not manipulate women or anybody with passive aggression and nonverbal communication. They don't just go like, they don't fucking, if you see a man doing, like, what the fuck? Is that your response, Negro? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? That's a problem. If that was the actual response and there were no words to follow it up, hey, whatever. If he did all that and then he still told you it was direct and what's up, and you got back in line, okay, fine. You know, you got to find your style. You got to find your style to do what you got to do. But if you think that um, just having a fucking attitude and a hissy fit and being unwilling to confront your woman or whoever is in the way of the objective, that's a problem. That is a problem. That's a big problem. Okay. Every masculine sign, think about it. All the air signs, which are communicators, are what? Gemini. My eyes are like bleeding right now from looking at this screen. Are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. What is that? Masculine, masculine, masculine. The lungs and the communicators of the entire zodiac are masculine signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, masculine. You feel me? So what am I saying? They are objective. Their emotions are not in the way. Are we all seeing the synchronicities? Are you seeing how this all clicking right now? This is how I look to use astrology to help you improve, not master, improve your response to suffering. Okay. I gotta turn this light down. This shit is my spirit don't like that light. It's like, it's in this damn ring light. It's like, you're killing me. My dad is a Sag sun, Aquarius moon. Not sure if it's rising sign. My mom has the same placements. Bang. I do have a free calendar out there, by the way, for anybody looking to book a 15-minute natal reading. It's pretty much enough to give you like an answer to a question, if you will. But that's out there. I don't know where right now. Somewhere in the description. Okay, I'm gonna get to this point. I actually was just looking for the bang. Okay, I have the link here. That's for you guys. Feel free. You can book that. My sun and moon pull from opposite sides, Sag and Gemini. It's crazy. I can imagine. But they're still brothers, you know? They're still brothers. So it's like, it's like two brothers that don't get along, but they still love each other. You feel me? Sag and Gemini. All right. So here's the last piece. I'm going to rapid fire through this one. I would have liked to spend more time, but my eyes are tired. And I'm going to give you the good signs of emotional intelligence. But it's going to be more rapid fire. So hang on. Hold your horses. I gave you the majority of positive masculine energy. And I think that it goes hand in hand about emotional intelligence. We teach others how to love us. This is critical. This is the biggest mistake that I've made in relationships, was not realizing that I was responsible for teaching my women how to love me. This is, and I repeat, the biggest relationship mistake I've made all my life. I didn't understand that I was in charge of teaching my woman and other people how to love me. But in this instance, I'm talking primarily romantic relationships. That is a toxic masculine trait, to allow myself to have been abused emotionally. Because when I didn't have my clear positive masculine image set up, my framework working, organized, structured, and disciplined, what I allowed was what? That combustible, chaotic energy to overcome the order. I got engulfed, which is not magic. Okay. Again, magic is order and chaos. That equals magic. That's how you manifest your thoughts and turn them into realities with action. But this is what happens now. If the order has not been established, okay, and in this instance is me teaching others how to love me, the chaos, fucking raging chaos, the one that we said earlier can fuel Elon Musk rocket, has engulfed me. So as the masculine energy is supposed to be a container for all of this chaos to fucking expand, which means that I need to expand my container as well. Instead, what happened is I got engulfed by the chaos. And then notice what's happening. I'm getting buried deeper into myself, becoming more and more passive and bitch made. And now I'm so far off screen, you can't even see how I'm being engulfed anymore. So what do I need to do? I need to now be nice and manipulate through niceness, doing things with an ulterior motive, avoiding conflict, okay, by standing up and saying it with my chest. I joke around with this. This isn't like masculine for me, but I'm joking. You feel me? Did that make any sense? All right, we got to teach others how to love us, which goes into the things we said earlier about positive masculinity, which is like there needs to be a consequence when your woman is out of line. There needs to be a consequence. Okay, that consequence is not beat her. That consequence that is a weak man. If you have to physically touch a woman in a violent way, as a fucking coward. So does not mean that. What it means is you need to teach your woman how to love her, how to love you, how you want to be loved by understanding and being clear about your wants and your needs before you meet her. This is what I had to learn. Like, you don't want to figure this out in the middle of your relationship. You don't want to figure out in the middle of your relationship what your wants and needs are. That is a disaster that is waiting to happen because realities are going to be broken and illusions are going to be revealed. And you're going to both probably realize that you don't want to be with each other. So as a male, positive masculine energy is upfront, knowing what you want, what you need. I want a girlfriend. Okay, boom. Act like you want a girlfriend. Behave like you want a woman. A woman, not a girl. Behave like you want a woman. Or, I don't want a woman. Actually, just want to be a player and crush a lot. Well, fuck it. Be clear about this is my phase in life. Look, baby girl, I'm here for one night only. I'm a player. Period. Be clear, be honest, be concise, and be bold. Whether you decide you're going to be a player, be a bold player. Call it out. Don't play her. Don't play her because you're playing yourself. Or I want a wife. All right, that's a tall order. Okay, that's the man choice to take. Congratulations. That's a tall order as well. Are you prepared? Is your structure capable of holding all that chaotic energy while not self-destructing? That's the question if we decide we want a real woman in our life. Yes, sir. I see you, Kid Fit. All right, here we go. I think I said this a little bit in a different way, but land on your face. Okay. Fail forward. Denzel Washington first said that I heard, and I really enjoyed it. He's like, fail forward. It's like one of his best speeches. And we kind of said this already. So I'm like, fall on your face. Les Brown would say, I'll fall on my back so that if I could look up, I can get up. But it's like, I could understand it and I appreciate it. But that's the difficulty as well at like motivational speaking. It's like, you know what? That shit hit, it flied, it sound great. And like, yeah, sign me up. But it's like if he fell on his back, what was really happening? I don't know. Was he walking backwards? You feel me? Can't build from the top. No. This is what I learned has really had to happen in my life. This happened in my life. Like I tried to think that coming together was going to then be the start of me building my empire with my woman. And that's where I fucked up at. And again, being able to take ownership of something like that, I think, quite frankly, is a positive masculine outlook on life, an approach to change something, to make things different, to be able to accept that, you know what, I fucked up. Because at one point, what Energy just said is where I fell. That's where that's where I betrayed myself. Okay. And when I say betrayed myself, what I mean is that's where I had an expectation that was not aligned with who I was and also not aligned with the truth of integrity. The truth or integrity. Okay. Because it's like, look, like he just said, you don't build from the top. All right. Number 3, good signs of emotional intelligence. Okay. Okay, if you can't ask for space to be alone, if you can't First off, before you get into it, like we said, starting from the bottom, okay, if you hit rock bottom, you broke up, you're out of a relationship, great, because you can only go up from there. Okay, that was point number two. A good sign of emotional intelligence is somebody that has asked themselves, and even I would say one more step further, written down on paper, here are my three non negotiables. Maybe you have one non negotiable. Maybe the one non negotiable is I need to have plants in my home. For me, that is a non negotiable. If I have a woman that just really hates plants and she can't have a plant in the house, we're not gonna work, baby girl. You feel me? Did you see what happened to Will Smith? I'm gonna read Will Smith's chart. Would you guys like that? I'm gonna read Will Smith's chart and I'm gonna try two things. One, I'm gonna be honest, but two, I'm gonna try to help pull him. I took a glance at his chart. I'm also gonna try to like help use his chart as an example of the power of astrology and how it can improve our suffering. Because I looked at Will Smith's full chart and it was very obvious how he fell into codependent, manipulative, fucking baby back bullshit. It's very obvious. However, if he knew what we're gonna paint as a picture in this chart, let me know in the comments if you would like to see me read his chart. Um, it was very clear for me at the same time, which no one will ever be able to see unless they really look into his chart, that Will Smith has come back in this lifetime as a martyr to raise awareness of everything we're talking about today. Everything we're talking about today about positive masculine image and stepping away from toxic masculinity and making real men again. Will Smith was a martyr. He sent himself back, mind you. Like we choose our paths, right? Soul contracts are created in a life prior. He chose to come back at this time frame, knowing that passive men has gotten out of control. Women running over men like fucking step stools has become disgusting in my personal opinion. And we gotta put stop. And his fame is a part of what makes him the martyr. Where, in my personal opinion, we gotta chill the fuck out on ostracizing Will Smith so much. We need to really stop acting like he wasn't our childhood hero and like he didn't do so much for black culture, regardless of this stage of his life, and also check in with our own personal insecurities and fucking enjoyment of gaslighting because it means that we don't need to focus on our bullshit. So it makes us feel good to shit on somebody who was once viewed as a hero in many different ways, an icon, in more ways than just fame. Like Will Smith was a father figure for people growing up. There's so many kids with fathers that Will was like their father figure. He gave people hope. And on top of that, in his last life, he chose to come back here understanding that he was going to be ridiculed on the world stage. Before he came back, he made a decision to be a martyr for exactly what we're talking about in the consequence if we don't set consequences for fucked up ill will behavior when we're dating women. So, Will, if you out there, baby, I'm gonna read your chart. I'm gonna do it publicly, and we're gonna make it clear that you were here for a higher purpose, like we always knew you were. But his purpose changed, like all of our purposes will, and they should transform. You feel me? At one point, his purpose was something, and it transformed. And today, it's unfortunate that part of that transformation has to put him on stage as a public laughingstock. But I promise you, it ain't that simple. It ain't that simple. And if any of our lives are in, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna go on to the next one because we're gonna talk about that one. We're gonna put Will Smith on the chart. We're gonna throw him up. All right. Remember who the fuck you are. It's that simple. Um, Positive masculine energy, a good sign of emotional intelligence is that they don't need validation from somebody outside themselves. Anybody that's insecure and they're looking to be needy or worse, pretend to be needy, that's a problem. That's a red flag. You should get the fuck away from them. Anybody that needs validation, you should get away from them. If you notice it early, and you can do that when you remember who you are. Remember who you are. Another sign of emotional intelligence, a good sign in my personal opinion, is don't cross your own boundaries. We talked about this. I fell to this. I had to take ownership of when I crossed my own boundary, when I didn't set consequences for certain raw behaviors that was out of line. But I didn't draw the line. So there was really no line for that person or whoever I was dating. There was no line for them to cross because I didn't draw the line. That's my fault. If the line was there and I held the line, who knows what could have happened. But also to understand that it ain't for me to go back. It ain't for you to go back and be like, oh, well, now that I know this, now that I have my frame, now that I know my boundaries, now I'm going to try again. No, that's not how regret works. Regret is used so that we don't make the same mistake moving forward, not going backwards to who already has walked all over our grave while we were alive. That ain't the it. Seek self-acceptance and form your own opinions. This is a great sign of emotional intelligence. When you can form your own opinions and you can accept that your opinion is the shit. Your opinion works. Like your opinion is something that's no longer going to be opinion, but a fact. In the law of facts. If that's even a real thing. My birthday is 4/14, by the way. I've been seeing this 4/14 on the screen for people watching currently, and 14 thumbs up. Dope. You guys rock. Aries, baby. Yeah. Seek self-acceptance. That's a critical thing. If you can accept yourself and you seek yourself in times of, again, uncertainty, like positive masculine energy will continuously face, then you're in a good space, because a real king, in my personal opinion, can feed his own flame. When you can feed your own flame, if you can't feed your own flame, then you're definitely not leading other people. Because this is what I had to learn about even being a leader for myself. I'm going to say this from personal experience, right? I think in human design, I don't know if it's human design, but I'm a 5/1 generator, like the fixer archetype. 5/1 being the heretic, okay, and the one being the investigator. And the heretic, the thing about the heretic is like, you know what? I had to learn that with the heretic, everybody who loves you, I'm gonna try to take it more personal. Everybody loves me as long as I can fix their problems, because they know that I can, because they know that I'm a grade A energy source, that I don't run out, that they can feed off me like energy vampires. This is a part of the heretic mentality or archetype. Now the key with this is, like I said, the heretic, you have to take the mask off. I had to stop showing people a certain version of myself. I had to show them the truth. And the truth is, I'm somebody so raw that if I showed people this raw version of me all my life, less people would have tried to fuck with me, because they would have realized before they had a chance to do anything different that they would get their fucking face bitten off. And that is who I am. But when I was playing nice, and my fucking seventh house in Venus, my Venus seventh house had me like fucking playing harmony games and shit like that. It's like I'm on life path 11, my dude. And that, again, that life path 11 shit, feeling the sensitivities of the entire fucking world and other worlds at the same time. It's like I let all that pressure break me at a point, which is good, because that rock bottom picked me back up. Hell nah, Lily, this is a talk for guys and girls. I've been mentioning feminine energy constantly because, you know, masculine energy has to meet feminine energy the same way feminine energy has to meet masculine. So I'm glad you're here joining this, because I think that women and men need to hear this shit, because women are on the opposite end, the ones having to deal with men that have gotten too soft, that are being bred soft. They're being literally bred to be subservient. And this is a problem. This is a very big problem. Venus and Libra, life path 9s. I've been meeting a lot of 9s. So I'm a 29/11. I'm a life path 29/11. So I've been meeting so many nines telling me that I'm on purpose. Like I've been getting every sign on the planet, every synchronicity on the planet. Like Pernell, you're on your purpose right now. Like you're whatever I'm talking right now, whatever I spit out today. Hopefully you feel it through the airwaves like it's purpose. All right. So definitely, thanks for that. Absolutely, Lily. And any as a woman, quite frankly, like whatever feedback you got in the comments, this is the beauty. This is what we need to hear the most. You know, what is it about men? Let's just say, for example, let me try to think of something. Let me take a sip while I ponder. Or if any other guys get a question in here that you would like to ask a valid woman, please ask her. It's a good time. Just drop it in the comment. This is why we're doing that. This is why we're doing the Brainstorm Mastermind. This is why we're gonna do it. To put our minds together, men and women. And I'm gonna drop that link for you guys one more time in case there's anybody new, because I never get to see who's on the other side until you comment. Maybe I got a question. I think I got a question. Is the older generation fault for the softness? You know, we talked about Will Smith earlier, and you know, it's funny because he's the first person I ever heard say is like, it's not our fault that we're soft, right? It's not our fault that there was a lapse in masculine energy and it became soft at a certain point. It's not our fault, but it is our responsibility. Super fucking cliche, right? But it is the super fucking truth. Um, it's the truth. Because whose fault it is? Remember, we're talking positive masculine energy, right? Positive masculine energy does not complain. We said that in the beginning, right? It doesn't complain, it doesn't explain, and it doesn't argue. So we don't go back to our parents and be like, Dad, you weren't there for me, and that's why I turned out to be a killer. Fuck. Obviously, that's not the positive form. That's a very toxic form of masculine energy. Or Mom, you gave me too many hugs and kisses, and you fucking did too much for me. I hate you, or whatever. Like that ain't the it, right? That ain't it. That's not a positive image of masculine energy, and that's not what we want our fathers at to raise our daughters, right? That's not the guy you want raising your daughter. Um, Somebody who's gonna sit there and complain and and abuse his emotions in a way that is chaotically overwhelming all of his internal systems, where he becomes completely fucking irrational. Which, if unrational long enough, that man then becomes deranged. And to be honest, like I've been there. I've been there. I've been to that point where I allowed my irrational emotions to overwhelm me so much that I had become deranged. And for me, deranged looked like hitting people, literally, who like going around on the cell phone, driving around in my car to people that one of my first exes have slept with all these other people. And the deranged was I snapped. My fucking shit snapped. Playing that nice guy shit. Snapped. And I was literally locked and loaded in the car, willing to do anything. Going to jail was not the concern in my mind, but it should have been. And I have been to jail for this stuff. Again, allowing my irrational emotions to completely topple every logical process in my brain. Me blaming my parents does nothing for the responsibility that I need to take, because my parents, when these dumbass behaviors happen, aren't the ones that are going to serve time in jail. So does it matter? That's what we talked about earlier, like with stoicism, like to not complain about whose fault. The whose fault almost should never even be mentioned because it doesn't fucking matter. Like clear, concise masculine energy can recognize, damn, my relationship with my father really fucked me up. Okay, good. That's a step. From whatever outlet you spontaneously came to that understanding, you're angry about it. Good. You're pissed off. Great. It puts you in rage. Feel that. But it doesn't need to go out to the world. It doesn't need to be projected onto your girlfriend. It doesn't need to be used as a way of blame and shaming the next person. It is your fuel to create a better life. It is the foundational blocks. Now you know what rock bottom is. You can go up. Now you know rock bottom, baby. Now you know rock bottom. Let that shit hurt. Let it fucking hurt. Let it hurt so bad that you promise yourself, I will never fucking feel this again. I made that promise to myself. Which is why the last girl that I had dated that was acting funky, me valuing my time, was going straight up. Are you dating this dude? Yes. Okay. No complaining. No explaining my next action. Nothing. I don't exist. I now have a focus, a new one that I need to fucking reestablish for whatever part of my own shit that I step outside and over my own boundaries, whether they existed or they didn't. That's on me. Extreme ownership. No matter what, at the end of the day, like, it is on me. No matter, fuck it, I'm bitter. Fuck it. How long will I allow that bitterness of somebody that obviously did not respect my time nor my energy to stop my forward progress? Not long. Not long. Not long. Why? Because I've already allowed that in previous relationships, and over so many times. Enough times for it to finally have to hurt enough for me to say, never going back down that road again. I've already been to jail for this bullshit. So now when I got a woman in my life that wants to think that baiting me is healthy, fuck that. No. Limited access. I already know what rock bottom feels like on that other side. Like, you feel me? Like, you know how uncomfortable it is to sit in the back of a cop's car on top of your hand on cold steel with your handcuffs? Like, then to be like an animal placed behind a cage? That's not the life I want to fucking live. Fuck no. And then to have that same woman in court sitting with me next to my mother, and none of us understand what really was happening on the other end. You think that that's the rock bottom I want to relive again? Fuck no. Hell no. So what needs to happen? You just stop complaining, accept the bitterness, get over it now. Fucking get real clear what needs to happen. Pick a focus. Okay, that's where I'm going. And decide that everything outside of that line of sight that does not fuel my journey and bring me forward is dead. I don't have time. I don't have energy. I don't have focus for it. I have no attention to give it. Because what we give our attention to is what's going to come alive. I keep giving my attention to being bitter and thinking my parents' fault. It's like, I'm going to birth a monster. I'd rather birth an empire. Well done for sharing that. I was locked up in a slammer on threats to kill. You see what I'm saying? Just deny everything. I know. I already get that. I already understand. I don't even feel like elaborating too much out loud on that, but I fully understand. I fully understand. It's like, this is a real reality. There are consequences. So the same way there are consequences for our responses of how we allow our irrational emotions to take over rather than stepping back into the strength of positive masculine energy, which is the ability to be objective. Okay. The ability to be objective is a strong sign of emotional intelligence, to be able to see, imagine, feel, experience all of your emotions, but not allow them to dictate your actions. This is the key. To validate them all for yourself, not with the help of someone else. If you're at that stage where you need the help of somebody else, that's fine. Like there's stages, like, be honest with yourself. That's a part of emotional intelligence. Be honest. Like, look, right now I need help. There's nothing wrong with saying you need help. There's a reason that professionals exist in different spaces. Like, people do need help. We're social. So with that said, don't forget what positive masculinity looks like. And that's the ability to be accountable, to stop the blame game, take it on the chin, realize, damn, that sucked. Great. Okay. What's next? What doesn't belong? Remove the distractions. Take some time. Don't go off on a rampage and start banging all these women, and just take some time to love yourself. That's what I had to do. I had to take some time to realize that I spread my energy way too thin, and this was a longer reset. I had to go through this multiple times in my life, long-term resets. This is where semen retention does magic and wonders. This is where emotionally intelligent people have the ability to say, I need to carve out some time and some space for myself. They can be in a relationship and still have that as a non-negotiable, that I need to spend time alone. That alone time could be out with my friends, but it also can be just alone, and it should be just alone as well as your friends, as well as with your romantic partner, as well with your parents, as well with the people that are important in your life. I think the more we heal the inner child, the more we gravitate towards people who are more self-aware. Absolutely. Who have done their inner healing. Absolutely. And this is the simple laws of energetics. You feel me? It's like you taking the time to step back. If you want a high quality woman, you need to make sure you're a high quality man. Ooh, did you hear that? If you keep attracting these geezers, these fucking chicken heads, this damn bug is driving me crazy. You keep attracting cheaters, liars, snakes, women that's using you for money. All right. Well, why are you the one common denominator left? And if that hurt, then it's time to ask some deeper questions. It's time to observe and evolve from all the negative self-talk, because negative self-talk is, again, what creates narcissistic personality disorders. You keep talking to yourself negatively, and eventually you need other people to tell you something positive. The next thing you know, you're looking for an endless supply of grade A energy. So observe and get tuned in. Here's the last one I got for the day. Feel free to ask any questions, a good time. Last one, a good sign of an emotionally intelligent person is to forget what you didn't know. I'm gonna sit back on that one. I'm gonna just let that one, like, woo. You didn't know, baby girl. You didn't know, baby boy. It's okay. It's okay. You didn't know. This one was critical for me. Understanding the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt is you did a bad thing. You know what? Like, first off, bad, good is all subjective in the first place. Okay, fine. But let's take it away from this philosophical shit and let's get real. Good and bad is just not real, which is true. You can fight, you can argue, you say that. I believe that. I agree with that. These bugs. Yes, matter of fact, thank you guys. They're flies. Thank you for coming in, because flies is one of the spiritual signs that you're fucking working, that your work will be rewarded. So thank you. Every sign that comes into your life, say thank you. And that's how you work towards forgiveness as well. So understand that guilt is, I see your question, CJ. I'm gonna come in a second. Guilt is that you did something bad. Again, subjective, it's personal feelings. Bad doesn't really exist. Good doesn't really exist. What is. What is. Okay. How we interpret it is different. We can interpret something as bad. We can interpret something as good. But that same person or the next person might interpret that same thing as something opposite. So, but to be more practical, guilt is when you did a bad thing, a thing. But when we don't allow that one bad thing to be forgiven, when we don't observe it and allow it to pass, okay, and we allow it instead to take home without paying rent in our mental space, then it becomes shame. You need to create a consequence. It's the same thing that happens when we don't make a consequence for somebody disrespecting our time. Are you just going to say, okay, well, next time we're cool, we could chill? Or, or, or are you going to say, nope, you lost your slot? And that's one more step into the healing for yourself, which means that you're another step closer to a more healed individual. We got to stop playing save a hoe. We got to stop playing, save a bro. And recognize that step of healing toward myself, me respecting my time, valuing myself, now open new doors for more qualified women to match and help me expand the vision that positive masculine energies are very ambitious about. They don't let all this sideline noise take them off their game. They don't complain, they're not arguing with you, they're not fucking trying to explain all their moves. So when we don't handle guilt at the lower level stages and the one bad thing, it becomes shame when we start to think I'm a bad person. And that's when it's way more dangerous. And that's what other people will try. They'll try to gaslight you. They'll try to play psychological games with you. Those are low level demons that you need to conquer in yourself. Okay. Shame and guilt. These are chakra levels 1, 2, 3. Root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra. Those are 1, 2, 3 lower level demons in yourself that you have not conquered. If you're still facing things like guilt and shame. But it's still dangerous. Doesn't nonetheless make it less dangerous. It's still a killer. Shame is still, you think you a bad person, then you a bad person. Who am I to tell you different? Oh, I'm such a bad person. Okay. That's a lower level frequency. I don't have time to fight back and forth with you about, no, you're a good person. No, you're a good person. No, you're so kind. Oh, really? You think so? Gotta get away from this soft shit. All right, CJ, I got a good question. Would you rather have the right childhood without toxic codependency or go through all this shit and come out the other side as an educated empath? I think we know the clear answer for that. I'm going to take my life path because I chose my life path. All right. I created contracts to come back as a life path 11. I know damn well that life path 11 is not the life for fucking child's play that is supposed to grow up with a goody two shoe, lovely childhood. Because if I didn't grow up facing so many different traumatic instances and fucking conquering my own demons inside of me and externally from this world and other worlds, if I didn't have to go through that training, if I didn't go through that training, well, guess what? I couldn't be here talking to you today because I wouldn't be able to speak to you from a place of wisdom. The moment you would ask me a question, I don't have the answer because I didn't live it. You feel me? The moment you ask me a question, I can't give you a response that's going to resonate with you. Why? Because I just heard this from somebody else's shitty experience and I tried to emulate what I think it's supposed to feel like, but I don't know what it felt like. And I don't know how to overcome that because I didn't deal with that. I didn't handle that. So I would never change the life path that I chose to come back to live. I chose to come back to live and face seeing dead bodies. Like I put this in my life path to see what it looks and feels like to be next to a man that gets shot, dead, killed. I needed these experiences because this is the reality. I knew that I came back to help other people walk through the understanding that we are in a spiritual war and people are dead ass dying and they're not coming back. And with the right masculine energy, yeah, no, I would still take the moments of my when I was being nice and manipulative and discreet ways, bitch ass ways. I would not take that back. I would do the same thing because again, I needed to learn that lesson through experience of what did it feel like to be out of my positive masculine image and to be self-sabotaging myself, which I classically have done especially as that Scorpio rising, self-sabotage like a motherfucker because I didn't want to let go what I thought was for me, what I thought I wanted. I wasn't willing to step into the unknown past certain points, which then was all of the lessons that I needed to build on top of it. I needed multiple rock bottoms because I was hard-headed. I'm so hard-headed. I had to learn my lessons over and over again to make sure that I never go back, that I'm never going back to what I'm never going back to. Never going to disrespect my time and my energy the ways I've had in my life. Never. So I would never go back. Yes, you wouldn't be the person you are if you hadn't gone through everything you went through. Bang. Facts. Glasses. CJ. Bang. Lily. Woo. Hey, listen, look at that. We're 5:15. 5 people watching, 15 thumbs up. I appreciate you all for that. Any more thumbs up you want to drop? This is today's talk. We went 2 hours and 50 minutes. I didn't talk all day. I was so clear and I needed to get this message out. I didn't talk all day. I saved every ounce of my throat energy to have this talk because I felt so passionate about coming out here to speak what I had to speak today because we are in need of something different. Okay. The world is requiring us to step up to the plate and pull the trigger in unconventional ways that our higher mind, that conscious masculine energy, that Aquarius conscious energy, our conscious highness, our higher consciousness has laid out in our times of isolation, in our stages of God putting you on punishment, saying, go sit in the corner and learn your lesson. And we're going to keep throwing these cycles and these patterns and these karmic relationships until you fucking get the point. Okay, boom. Aquarius, the furthest one away from the sun. Its creativity is derived from everything in the dark, right? That's how the dark, the void of space. The void of space is now where? Furthest away from everything else that's alive, which means what? It's alone. And what do we do in alone time? We become more emotionally intelligent. And like we discussed today, an emotionally intelligent person can't be taken advantage of. They can't be abused psychologically, emotionally, or any other way. And when you spend time alone, guess what? You have one thought, your thought. You have one mind, your mind. Because your second brain, if you're a male, let's just say, the dickhead, it's not operating, okay? You ain't got nobody to bang. You in isolation, Aquarius, furthest away, in the dark. Which means I got this brain, okay, great. And I got my gut, which is the strongest brain. All right, but I'm in deep space, so guess what? I'm fasting. I'm not eating. So I got what? I got one analytical fucking machine that's clear of all toxins, clear of all distractions. TV, sports, women, sex, food, drugs, none of that's out there. So it's the higher consciousness coming back for the collective. Don't ever forget that this is where we are right now as a society. We need to really start fasting from all of the, I want to say in the moment, impurities, because we need to start leading with a pure heart. And remember, Leo is the heart of the sun. And Aquarius is on the back end of that, okay? It's on the back end of that, but it's also on the same axis, which means that it uses its clear mind to do what? Lead from the heart, even if it's doing it behind the scenes, which is what makes it a collective sign for humanity. Coming in as a masculine energy. Aquarius is a masculine energy for the collective. Masculine, clear mind. It makes the blueprint, the map. Aquarius is astrology. Uranus is astrology, owner of Aquarius. 11th house is astrology. Astrology is you, the map. They are putting synchronicities together. I hope this is making sense. We're being called to lead from a higher place, from a place that has heart, okay, with the brain with the brawn. Hey, listen, I want to see you guys definitely join my email list because getting off grid is really obviously like the long term, the big mission. You'll get a free book there, talking astrology, numerology, values, and alignment. In the second volume, I'm going to be pushing that out soon. That's where the dream interpretations are going to come. What does it mean when you see a wolf in your dream? What does it mean when you're being chased? What does it mean when you see a spider, animal totems? What is a spider, dead spider versus a regular spider? Red spider, black spider, brown spider, all different. All those interpretations are going to be coming in. The extended form of the numerology, how your life path numbers play out, how you can calculate them manually, how you can really adopt and lead yourself. So everything you're going to get, volume two is coming out. I'm working on it behind the scenes. That's my email list, my first email list ever. I haven't even sent my first email out yet, but that's that. Other than that, this workshop is happening. I killed a spider in my dream. You're crawling in my head. Yeah, that spider is I see you, guiding star. I see you, Aquarius gang. You get it. She gets it. Or he. I don't want to disrespect. I don't know which one the star is. I guess ambidextrous in the sexuality department. I killed a spider in my dream. That makes me off the rip. Um that can mean, I mean, intuitively that lets me know, like, I mean, a spider is manifestations, right? So if you know the color of spider, it could have been different. What's up, gang gang? I love when women uh dip in on masculine talks. I really think it's the most important thing to have men and women, because I join feminine talks as well. It's how I start learning how the female mind works. It's part of your role as a protector in the space of masculine energy. It's like to understand the needs of your tribe, the needs of the people you're protecting. It was a black spider. Um, yeah. So wow, black spider. Yeah, I have this in my guide. I want to refer to it right now because I know Black Widow is like death, right? Black Spider, in space of like rebirth and transformation. So it may mean like rebirth and transformation of what you're manifesting. Um, and again, wow, crawling on the head. Again, the head. We were talking, how we need to lead with our higher consciousness. So it's like, maybe this is two things. One, you're ignoring what your higher mind, your higher consciousness is telling you to allow to be reborn in the space of what you're manifesting, what you're creating. You caught a cobra in a dream, didn't kill it, just caught it. Yeah, bang. So it's like, look, if it was coming at you and you caught it, like, you were probably facing imminent death from a threat, potentially a friend who might have been a big bad bully. If it came in your face or your back could make a difference, but it might have been a big bad bully, but you caught them in their track and you took the high road. You realize, you kind of let in your masculine energy, right? Like, you didn't react, you didn't complain, you didn't bitch. You just said, "Gotcha, bitch. You're now done. You're like, you're out of my life." That could have easily been part of your interpretation for the cobra. Um, Gang, gang, superwoman, bang. I seen an owl. Depending on how you seen an owl is often about intuition, right? Um, it's also super wise. So wise again, wisdom. So it observes everything, masculine energy, right? It's observatory. It sees in the dark. It can see in the dark. So kind of like Scorpio in a sense, like it could see. Its perceptivity is divine. You guys rock. I really enjoy you for being here. Mind you, again, this is a work I'm doing to kind of brainstorm with people. All right, kind of like going through a like spiritual business. Want to really teach people how they can go ahead and just not keep giving in to the weaker impulses of, again, that lower mind that says, "Oh, I got to go work this job that I hate." Like, but we're brainstorming in the sense in the spiritual community, like, because all of us have ideas about businesses to run. We're in that off the grid talk. Like, that's just real game right here. This is the age of Aquarian. So it's like we're on that off the grid talk, off the grid Aquarius, behind, in deep space, forming networks off the net, off the web. Um, and doing this so in private communities where we can feel more safe to express ideas that are just absolutely Aquarian, like ridiculous, right? Um, Unconventional in nature and always surprising the world. It was staring at me. So I would love to see you guys there. I think I put 20 spots for this particular workshop. I just created it today, so nobody's actually in it yet. But the 20 will fill. It's just gonna happen. It always does. And I'm gonna be doing breakout groups with it, which is pretty dope. So in that 20, how whatever the number, if it's 20, I'm going to break you out into like 5 groups of 4. So you have like many little groups of your brainstorming. We bring the big brainstorm back to the group. Um, a little bit of breath work. We're gonna be doing a little bit of breath work. I love breath work. I'm a breath work guy. A lot of that is what happens on my behind the scenes, but I guess I should post some breath workshop things on the YouTube because I don't do it much. I do it always in my workshops. Um, but yeah, we're looking at like how relationship dynamics because you're obviously gonna be looking at our natal charts during this workshop. Because I'm an astrologer, like I love this shit, right? I eat astrology to the point where I gotta tell myself, Pernell, go outside and make sure you have some friends. So on the mission. um, so that said, yeah, like we're talking relationship impacts and what they have on us in the space of our business. And this like that could be romantic relationships. How many of us have romantic relationships that are impacting our business in a negative way? Okay, great. How many of us have them in a positive way? And how can we make that better? Um, how can we navigate this? Breath work. Yo, I'm in Aries. Y'all see me? I'm over here, Aries and Mercury. I'm like one stream of consciousness. Like this is why I like to write my. This is why my Virgo 10th house forces me to write my ideas out prior, so that I can pin them in the comments and then send them here to you guys. So we go through our fucking our regime, like our curriculum, so that my one stream of consciousness can be like, "Bam, bitches, this is what we're gonna do. All right, you get the bazooka, you get the sniper. We're going to war, bitches." Loved you in the live with Mike. Subscribe. Bang, you rock. Loved your energy and insight. Absolutely. Yeah, I do this. This is what I do. I love this. I absolutely love this. This is me being on path. Somebody talked about life path 9 earlier. Like I said, I'm a 2-9-11. So like the 9, doing these teachings is really critical. Venus and Aries and Mercury. Wow. That's delicious. You're a strong mother. Yeah, I can imagine you don't play no crap. You don't play no crap. I got it. I know you're ready to bark at somebody in a heartbeat. Like, "Arr, arr." Yeah, I like to work the same way. Um, so yeah, that's that. I dropped that workshop for you guys. I'm gonna go drink some tea now because obviously you can hear my throat a little raspy. But I came out here today. I was spitting fire, fucking 3 hours, just blah. No one even talking to me verbally. I'm just gonna do it. Laugh out loud. No, sir. No, you're not a little Chihuahua pit bull. Are you sure? With a Venus and Aries and a Mercury and Aries, you don't be. I don't know if I believe you, especially if somebody broke your heart. What house is it in? Maybe the house is switching up the influence because either that or you were just breaking the hearts first and you never had to deal with it. Because that could be. I think Venus and Aries is a heartbreak placement. It's like motherfuckers get their heart broke on that, and Aries is off to the races, like haha, bitches. But they also, I'm an Aries, so it's like 6th house. Yeah, I got a 6th house Aries because of my Scorpio in the Placidus system, my Scorpio rising. 6th house Venus. Do you like to shop at local shops? I know a lot of time with Mercury, like little local shops in the 6th house, they like to shop at they like to shop locally where they like are familiar and they've created a relationship and a consistent bond, and they like to just pull up at that shop because you know the owners. How do you know your life path number? You can put that in any calculator, homie. But there's a manual way you could do it too. You could just add your birthday, the day, and the year. So I was born in 1991. 9 9 is 18. 1 1 20. So that's a 20 20. April is the 4th month. That's 24. 14. 24 plus 1 is 1. 5. Then boom, I get 2 9. 2 9 11. Well, 29 equates to 11, and 11 you don't downgrade, which is that I do sometimes. I like to go to the same places. Yeah, I was just curious because I was that's more of like a researcher question, trying to see how many people Mercury sixth house actually do that. Um, but what I will say is I can imagine as well that Aries still needs the curiosity of something new, right? So if it was a fixed sign in the sixth house, like let's say any of the fixed signs, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and they had that, then it would be fixed. You'd be like all the time, right? But the six in the Aries would then say, all right, yeah, I need to have a couple new experiences, you know. But it's also Aries also very loyal too, right? So they're loyal, but they still just need to spark their curiosity at new spots too. Because otherwise they'll get bored of the mundane. They'll be like, look, I need something. You gotta keep it sweet too. You feel me? Um, Obviously anybody looking for a natal reading, you can go ahead and you can do that. Um, I guess the last thing what I'll drop. I do have this calendar for 15-minute free readings. Kind of give you a little lick, give people the chance to understand who I am, what's the style. Sixth house Mercury, I venture out, but it's in Sagittarius. Yeah, of course. You gotta go outside the borders of what will be mundane. No, Pisces Sun, Mercury, and Venus in the sixth. I need a lot of space in relationships. Fuck yeah. Well, yeah, I wasn't talking about relationship. I was talking about shops and relationships. Duh. Yeah, that's an automatic for me. You gotta lead your own way. You gotta be an individual. Because sixth house is, with sixth house in Aries, there's something I'm thinking about. We have with sixth house in Aries, my brain is fried. With sixth house in Aries, when it comes to relationships, sixth house in relationships is the part that everybody fails. That's what I was trying to say. Everybody fails at the sixth house. So it's like first house going up to 12, okay? Fifth house being like where the relationships begin after you form the relationship with yourself in the first, second, third, and fourth house. And then fifth house is where relationships begin, right? And so that's non-committal. That's romance. So once romance is described by the mystery of love. So once you know everything, now it's like, all right, I can get bored. Okay. But then if you don't, and the person is mysterious enough for you to feel intrigued to continue on, then you go to sixth house. But sixth house is where now it's like that person has to be on board in relationships with the habits, okay, the daily habits of their partner. So, if especially around health in the body. So, for me, okay, it's like I also have a sixth house in Aries. So, like, I need and I'm attracted to people who are fit, people who take care of their body, right? Like, people who take care of their body. And so, if I'm outside of that, I know that I'm pretty much already crossing an indiscreet non negotiable, right? Or a discrete non-negotiable. So, but beyond the body, also like again, their eating habits daily. And so when you put Aries there in six, it's like, yeah, they need space because they have to keep discovering what are their new habits. So they need somebody that's also independent enough to explore their new habits because that then keeps their curiosity throughout the longevity of the relationship and the dynamic you share new, fresh, and always curious, which are the needs of that. I hope that made sense just to get that little nugget out there. Uh, I see you all. Thank you all for the likes. I appreciate you. I dropped the 15-minute free calendar. I dropped the subscribe button for my email list. Really would love for you guys to see that. That's probably the most important so that you actually see what's happening. Anybody that didn't drop a like button and you have the possibility, drop that. Good to see you, Lily. I hope a couple of you really enjoyed today's conversation. Anything that you want to hear, drop comments on my post. Just let me know, like, because I'm looking to get and become a better servant, like, really. And when I say like become a better servant, I mean like give you what you want to hear, give you what you want to know. Understanding that me as an astrologer, you can probably imagine like I do take my own style. Like for me, astrology is a part of my educational footing and how I teach. but I'm also very much here to bring heaven to earth. So it's like you may notice I don't necessarily talk crazy on this conjunction and this sextile and this and that. It's like, okay, for me, it's like understanding that is enough. I need to make that shit make sense through simplicity. Something like, let's say, a topic and discussion on masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Like positive masculinity. Okay, I believe we need to create better men. And I believe that, we got to start with better men in order to make good wives again. You feel me? Like, um, marriage is so fucked. It's been that way for so long. It's so like out. But and I don't think it has to be about marriage per se. That's all personal views and shit. But I do believe that whatever the relationship, whatever you want to call and label it, doesn't matter to me as much as um making relationships that stick. Okay. Because I really hate to see that relationships fail all the time way too soon. And a lot of times when I've seen in different charts with people I've read for like anybody that wants to do like a couple reading with you and your boo, like every time I've seen charts, like I've saved a lot of relationships by just people understanding their edges. You feel me? Understanding what they need to address for themselves or even how to truly understand their partner. And so that's a really big love for mine. So like I believe in love. Like I really, really do. Like I believe in like people overcoming the challenges inevitably that's going to be faced in a relationship dynamic. Like I'm a big advocate for that. Like love fucking rocks. Anybody that says that they don't want love, they don't want to feel love, they don't want to be loved, they don't want to give love. I don't know. It's maybe just not my cup of tea. I'm not gonna judge you heavy, but what I'm gonna say is on this side, I'm an advocate. So yeah. Thank you guys. See you soon. Love.